Night Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
sport, Jos Buttler has been included in England's squad for this winter's Ashes cricket tour of Australia. There have been suggestions the wicketkeeper might not go, with some players expressing concerns about COVID-19 protocols. And Valtteri Bottas has won the Turkish F1 Grand Prix, with Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton losing ground in the title race. The defending champion finished fifth as championship rival Max Verstappen took second place. From Sky News, I'm Georgina Campbell.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And now, the forerunner to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call and get talking across the northeast, please, because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Night Owls. Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thank you very much for joining us this Sunday night. Loads to talk about, but we always start you off with something a bit spectacular, and tonight we have a challenge, and that challenge is critters that really freaked you out. Now there's something about every kind of animal. There's so many people that are terrified of dogs, terrified of cats, terrified of snakes, spiders, lizards, wasps. We're scared of every kind of... If it crawls, we're kind of scared of it. So what has attacked you? What are you most frightened of? What's the scariest moment you've ever had with a creature of any kind? Have you been freaked out by a creature in a foreign country? What happened? Tell me the story. And there is a million stories out there.
Just used to roam around the house.
Do you know what it was? What kind of... Any idea what type of snake?
Some kind of python-y type thing. A large snake.
Right.
And it had a tank thing, but it was free to roam around the house and what have you. She'd had it for a few years, and one morning it'd gone off its food, wouldn't eat anything, was a bit kind of acting a bit strange.
Yeah.
One morning she woke up and the snake was lying next to her in bed, but ramrod straight right next to her in bed, and she was like, "Whoa, that's a bit weird." And
happens to me. That.
She'd slight size difference, but she'd phoned her friend.
Would be smaller, that's true. Right.
Yeah. Phoned her friend to say, and you'll never guess what the snake. And her friend said, "Right, grab what you can and get out the house." And she was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Just get out the house. Just grab what you need and go. Don't touch the snake. Don't go anywhere near it. Get out the house." So she did what he'd said, and it turns out that the snake was sizing her up for its next meal.
And they do that by going completely
lying
straight
next to you to see if
you'll fit.
They're big enough to see if you'll fit. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What did she end up doing? Did you get shot of the snake?
Well, they had to get rid of the snake, yeah. It was a case of,
It's either him or me.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that before. We don't tell you that at the pet shop, do they? Have you noticed? Also, how quickly things change. Newcastle United, the most rich club in the Premiership. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? What's your view? Give me a ring. Newcastle could sign anybody now. Who should they sign? Government minister admits that most of our problems are due to Brexit and there's lots more to come. And on question time, minister said people didn't want foreign workers, so they voted for Brexit. Now we need foreign workers for the NHS, for haulage, for catering, for retail jobs, all the jobs the Brits won't do. How'd you get around that now then? And the UK faces a bill of £1.7 billion a day to replace EU's Galileo programme, the space programme, And Britain say we're not sure we can operate without it, in which case billions would have been wasted. The Irish border, major crisis, the EU not prepared to help. Quelle surprise, as they said in Brussels. Also, those creatures that keep attacking you and freaking you out.
And it was going like the clappers, and I said, I'll go and pick it up and chuck it outside, but by the time I got a tissue and went across it, it vanished. All at once, my wife stands up, starts to take her bloody trousers off. I thought it was my birthday. She said, it's gone up my leg. I said,
No. Spiders up your trouser leg. Oh, my goodness. And dogs, too.
Basically, it was my neighbour's dog, which we knew the dog. They'd only had the dog 4 weeks, so she'd getting from a rescue home.
Right.
And the children had actually played with the dog, took the dog out for walks and everything, and he was just coming home. And we're stroking the dog, and then all of a sudden it started growling, so I actually moved my little boy out of the way.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the dog actually just turned and leaped on his face.
And actually
So
bit his face.
Bit his face. And because I was there, my reaction was like mother's instinct is to I just grabbed the dog and flung the dog off him.
Right.
But of course, because that split second, his face was in a right state. It was absolutely right state.
His eyes are okay.
It just below his eye, it's got but his eyes are fine.
Did he need stitches? I'm sure he needed hospital treatment, probably.
Yeah, he got transferred to the RVI. He's actually lost a nerve in the side of his face.
How old is he?
He's on 8.
How about that? Children and dogs, do they mix? Got another competition for you too. We're going to name 4 clues. The answers are 4 hits. What's the name of the artist? Whose hits? Just don't write that down, because if you write it down, it actually looks quite rude. Whose hits? Other things we're talking about. Tenerife. My goodness, a catastrophic volcanic eruption. Have you ever dated anybody who is well known or famous? And America have turned down Britain for 3 factories and 211,000 jobs because they need to sell to the EU, so they're building in Europe. Britain's worst cold infection is coming too. And Britain to get penalised with Putin. You know, Putin's got a deal with Europe to give them cheap electricity. We're not in Europe anymore, so we don't fall in line with that deal, so we've got to pay over the top for energy from Russia. For the first time ever, households are expected to pay around £2,000 a year for energy, which is, whoa. 0191 488 3188. Creatures attacking you. What has happened? Whether they're insects, whether they're animals, whether they're amphibians, whatever the hell they are.
A few weeks later again, I tried it again, and it was getting a bit, coming to us, letting it stroke it a little bit. So, right, I'll let the bird out,
Right.
Alan, as soon as I let that out the cage, it zoomed around the room and aimed straight for my face. I swear to God. It was like one of them little German planes, I
Right.
didn't think I'm allowed to see it.
A Messerschmitt.
No, the other one with an F.
The Fokker. A little one. Right.
Alan, I had to duck, right? Else it would have took my eyes out. It went around again, done the same again. I ducked, went around the living room again, and the third time I was ready for it. So I swept to one side and I hit it with the back of my hand. Not a nice thing to do,
No.
but I was scared.
You were
I was
defending
really-
yourself. It was self-defense.
Luckily, it landed on this chair.
Right.
And it was like a soft leather recliner kind of chair, Alan, I got one of the perches out the stand off the cage, and I went across to it. I said, "Get on there, you little bitch," And it looked up at me with little puppy dog eyes, for all it was a little feathered one, Alan, it stood on the furthest edge of where the perch. Thought, right, you come with me, get back in that cage, kind of thing, Alan, as soon as I shut the door, it attacked us, right? Held onto my hand, and I swear to God, it drew blood 7 times in total in the one hand, my left hand.
And that's a bird that you bought for a pet. Whoa. Now, speaking about birds attacking, Catherine's starting us off. It seems we've hit a nerve. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. So you've been attackified.
Just by big moths.
Big... How can a moth attack you, though? Have they got teeth? I don't think they've even got teeth, have they?
No, I don't think they have, but they're just... I don't know, I don't like them.
So they're attracted to you, obviously, because you're hot, like a candle. They're attracted. Is that the answer?
It's when I have the window open, you know, like, especially on the night time.
Yeah.
They, like, slide to the window and, like, come in sometimes.
And are they the big, thick-bodied ones? Yeah, or they're just...
Yeah.
One of the ugly... And I know butterflies, everybody goes, oh, butterflies, they're so lovely. Moths, even though they're not a million miles away from a butterfly, they're horrible-looking things with strange antennae coming out their head. And they're just odd-looking things. So I understand what you mean. We've had members of staff working for me over the years that I couldn't get a caller on air because next door there's half a dozen moths chasing them around the studio.
Oh, God.
They're horrible-looking things, aren't they? So what do you do then?
Yeah.
Why'd you leave your windows open then?
Just to get a hot flush.
You see, I said you were hot. I was not wrong. I was not wrong. So that's the only thing that's attacked you, though, mothies.
Yes.
That's all right. Now you can survive with that. Anything else, then, Catherine?
Just a little bit help about me cat.
Oh, do tell. What's up?
He's like a dog. He follows you all over the place, and when you go out, he follows you.
What, outside?
Outside, he follows you. If he's outside and he sees you, he follows you to the bus stop.
So then he'll just turn around, go back, and wait for you to come back off the bus.
No, he literally follows you to the bus stop. There's a few times when, like, me and my partner have, like, gone out.
Yeah.
And he sort of, like, follows you, and all you can hear is his bell going, and you turn around and he's there.
He just misses you. He obviously loves you. That's a nice thing, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is a nice thing, but it can be a bit sort of irritating at times, you know.
I know everybody loves their pets and stuff. Does your partner not get jealous of all the affection you give to your cat?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he likes the cat as well, so...
Right. But I bet he wishes he got as much attention as the cat did.
Oh, he does. They both do. Both get equal attention.
Well, that's fair. That's very fair. Hey, well, that's good stuff. Catherine, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you, Alan.
Nice way to start the show. Thank you. How about that, then? Moths. What is it about moths? You know, then they're harmless. The thing that freaks me out about moths is the little moths. And if ever you catch one of the little moths, they turn to dust. Now, that's not normal. That's not natural. There's something going on there. Anyway, off to Chris in Newcastle upon the Tyne. I think he's been attacked as well. Hiya, Chris.
Hi, mate. You all right?
I'm good. What's happened to you, then?
Well, I want to talk about snakes.
Yeah?
I used to own a few.
Right.
And I got bitten by one.
What kind?
I used to own a couple of boas.
Right.
And the one I got bitten by was actually a common adder. Actually, I was bitten in Chopwell Woods.
Oh, hell's bells, because they're...
They're quite common in England, yeah.
Yeah, but they're proper poisonous as well, though, aren't they?
Yeah. There's an adder, poisonous adder, yeah. They can't kill you, but they don't know how to sting a bit.
Right, so what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to... I must get to a hospital within 24 hours unless I'm doomed!
It depends if you're allergic to it, I suppose.
Right,
I took an allergic reaction to it. I was actually quite bad. My legs swelled up. I had to have anti-venom injections for a week and a half. So, yeah, it was quite bad.
No, that was full on. Did you know it was... do you know your snakes well enough to say, oh, I recognise that, that's obviously an adder? I mean...
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, that's even worse.
Didn't see it. I thought I'd brushed past a nettle.
Right.
So that nettle sting, you warm, kind of fuzzy feeling in your leg or wherever it hits you. Got home, itching like crazy.
Yeah.
I looked down, there's two little kind of like blood spots, and I thought, it doesn't look right. Then I went to the hospital, and they went, yeah, you've been bitten.
Oh, wow.
Probably by an adder, common species in England.
Yeah, the adders are vipers, and somebody told me they were the same thing. I think they're not, but they can both bite you though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think both bite you. Like I say, 99 out of 100 times are not dangerous, but if you have a bad reaction and don't get it seen to, it could kill you.
Jeez. I mean, because, we sometimes laugh about the wildlife that we've got in Britain. We think, well, you go anywhere else in the world, they've got stuff that kill you there, on a regular basis, stuff that kill you.
But if you go to Australia, they're actively trying to kill you, aren't they, to be fair?
Yeah.
Anything in Australia will kill you.
Sure. Well, that's what I'm thinking. And yet here, a nip from an aggressive squirrel is probably the one of the worst things that could happen. But we completely forget about adders and vipers, and Northumberland's covered with them.
Oh, there's tons of them. They're all over the place. Yeah, they're about as common as grass, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you get them all over. Crazy. Obviously, you get little corn snakes as well, which again, they're actually quite endangered now, corn snakes up this area.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Used to get loads of them, but they're dying out. But I used to keep boars. I had a couple of boars. I had a crested gecko. I had a Chinese water dragon at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they're really interesting creatures. They're really nice to handle. Them, I suppose.
I'm a fan of snakes. I actually quite like snakes. Never had an issue with them, and I've been in mixing with some poisonous, some semi-poisonous, and covered with boars once for some charity thing. But if a boar decided to bite you, that's a sizable head, isn't it?
Yeah, the bite wouldn't. Well, yeah, the bite would hurt. It's just a constriction that would kind of get you. If it got big enough to kind of. There's not many boars that are domesticated that would kind of get to that size to kill you. But small children, if you have small children or dogs or cats, if they got out, if you left that door open or you forgot to lock it properly and they got the scent, they would do some damage.
Where's the dog?
They're constrictors.
Can't find the dog and there's a lump in the snake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, wow. Hey,
that would be it.
You're the only person I've ever spoken to who's been bitten by an adder.
Really?
In all the years. And, being in the northeast, you presume, Scottish borders, Northumberland, Lake District, these are the areas where adders and vipers thrive, and yet never had a conversation. I'm so glad. It's a box ticked. Thank you very much for coming on. Anything else then, Chris?
No, that's it, mate.
Good, man. Thanks for ringing and appreciate your time.
Have a good one.
Cheers, man. You are with Alan Robson on the Night Owl's greatest hits, of course. Call Blamey. And we're going to keep on keeping at you because being named greatest hits gives us a certain chore. Is it a chore? Nay, a pleasure to bring you the greatest hits.
Just before it got dark as well, so that's a good intro.
Wasn't until you spoke. Hi everybody, Alan Robson with you again for another one of our legendary grizzly trails, our night owl ghost hunt. And we've come back to a very special place. Kenny's here, Hollywood McShane behind the camera.
Hello.
This is a place up to its chin in history from, we believe, prehistoric times. Come on in. This is the grand start. It has to be, if we were going to call this anything, I would call it the Curses of Cresswell. We're back at Cresswell Tower. Now, we haven't done a ghost hunt here. We came to the Peel Tower because we were nearby. And in you come. And all of this land belonged to the Cresswells that later became the Baker Cresswells, if you want to get your history right. It's been defended against border reivers. When I call it the curse, or the Curses of Cresswell, There are 3 separate stories about people who lived on Cresswell land that had horrific things happen. And I'm going to tell you those horrific stories. But the big story involves the enormous building that's just to the north here. Light it up, Kenny. I mean, last time we were here, it was so late, you could clearly see it. But tonight, oh my goodness, what a building it is. That's it, ahead. Don't know how well you guys are seeing it. We've left the door open. There you go. We can knock it off now, I think. Yeah. Directly behind us. Now, what is this bloody story? Let me tell you, because it is a bloody story. The Cresswells, in their time, now this is after the time after the Vikings, but we were still very much in contact with the Danes. A Danish prince called Rollo fell in love with the Cresswell's daughter. Now, the Cresswells were the dukes, the earls, the royalty of the vicinity. Wannabe knights, but they were Anglo-Saxons, so they couldn't become a knight under William the Conqueror and the French. You had to be French to be a knight. If you were Anglo-Saxon, you couldn't, but they wanted to be. So they built their own huge building. They built the Peel Tower. They were their defensive unit, and they became hugely powerful in the vicinity. People looking up to them, people working for them. Now, the girl's father, Cresswell, didn't want to have anything to do with the Danes because of the Viking history, and also the main thing was because Rollo was going to take her on his boat, his longship, back to Denmark, and that was the last thing that the dad wanted. So she went up onto a tower, and I'll show you the tower. It's a fascinating story. Did you hear that?
I heard a noise there straight away in the woods. Great.
We're getting voices. Oh, how about that? That's cool. Before we even start, there it is. There's the tower. So, this beautiful woman dressed in white goes up to the tower so that she can look out to sea, which is that direction. And she sees the longship. She sees the boat bringing her prince for the wedding. And the wedding was going to be held here. They'd prepared food and feasts and all of that. And then she sees the boat land, and she sees her 3 brothers ride down to greet their new brother-in-law, technically. So off they went. She actually, versions vary of this story, but the one I've gone with, which I think bears more truth, is they see him getting on a horse, and he's riding with the 3 brothers, thinking, well, they've gone there to greet him. They're bringing him to the castle like best men, or like ushers, I suppose, at a wedding. So she rushes off to make herself look as beautiful as she can. She comes back, and she's standing on top of that tower. She's looking over here to see the horses coming down. You got to remember, none of the houses were here. But instead of seeing her beloved riding on his horse, this handsome Danish prince, instead his horse rides by, dragging her beloved from one of the stirrups, just dragging his dead body, because the 3 brothers had killed him to stop him marrying their sister. Father ordered it, and it said, there are stories saying she starved herself to death. She didn't speak to anybody ever again. One that she took her own life. However, the vast majority, and there's about 7 or 8 different versions, 7 of those versions say as soon as she saw her husband's body run past, the father apparently was to have said to her, oh, you'll forget him. You'll marry someone locally. She just leapt all the way down and landed down there on the stone. Now, I've been told subsequently something that I didn't realize is that people who have seen her ghost and heard her voice and sometimes been surprised to see someone behind them, and when they look around, they can see a face of this beautiful woman, and then suddenly she's not there. They say that some days, and the guy isn't sure whether someone told him this or he made it up himself, but it's said that this branch here is where she
488 3188.
This is Night Owls.
And we are straight off to Langley Park. We have an anonymous person there. Hello, anonymous.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm good, mate. What can we do for you?
So I just have a question. I'm looking for some advice, really. I'm hoping one of the owls out there could possibly help me with something.
Sure. What is it?
So, just to give you a bit of context, you know, people obviously these days send money to each other online through their bank accounts for this, that, and the other. You owe someone a fiver, you send it through your online banking,
sure,
etc., etc. And you have to put a reference with that when you send the transaction, don't you?
Right.
And, well, my group of friends, if you can call them that, are known to put rather unsavoury references on these things.
Right.
So essentially, I mean, yeah, essentially what's happened is I've had my bank account flooded with fivers for all the fixings for a full English breakfast that I was cooking up when we went to the Lake District. And all of these fivers have come with references that I can't repeat on air because it's the kind of things that you cut people off for instantaneously.
Yeah.
Alan, it's not funny.
But it is the kind of banter. I mean, has your bank made any kind of reference to it, or?
Well, no, but this is the thing. My car's due for refinance in about 3 months' time. I'm looking to get on the property ladder and get a mortgage.
Right.
And if anyone looks at my bank statement for this month, they're going to find some pretty unsavoury stuff on there.
Right. But I mean, you could say to your friends, when you send a reference, why don't you just put your initials, a number 1 or number 5 or whatever? Do you really have to say you are an ugly or whatever?
Alan, it's worse than that. I'll just give you some context. I went away with 4 of the lads. 2 of them put on sensible references like breakfast or food.
Handy.
And then the other 2 put on things that I can't repeat. Things that are like racist, homophobic, really vile stuff like Alan.
Right. Oh, that's
not
great. Right.
No, it's not. And I told them, and I returned their money, and I said, listen, I'm not coming if you don't send that money back with a sensible reference on.
Right.
Which they did, and then we got out there to the lakes, and then it turns out they took it upon themselves to send me £1 each with even worse references on.
Right.
The worst vile things you can imagine. So, essentially, what I would like to know is if any of the owls work in finance or, banking sector and things like that.
Sure.
Is there any way that I can just get the references for these transactions just wiped to some kind of default sort of reference and remove this vile vandalism from my account? I'm
feeling that the reference that they put on, you see, they're sending something that belongs to them and they're giving it to you. So you can't, it's like if a business sent something to you, you can't tell them what they can or can't put on them. They're sending something to you. So their reference is whatever they want to put. And,
well, this is what's really
but it would
annoying.
reflect on you, I think. If somebody checked your finances and they saw all of this, they'd kind of think, do we really want to be lending money to this character?
Exactly, and that is my concern, and that's why I had a massive argument with them. And there's 2 schools of thought online. Is that 1, yes, it does cause a problem, and 2, no, it doesn't cause a problem. And I'm just wondering if anyone out there
has had an issue
who has their finger on the mouse, has come across this before, and what sort of way they, went with it and how they approached it with the customer. Because at the end of the day, what these so-called friends have done, they've vandalised my financial statements for their own amusement, and I've got no control over that.
No.
And I'm concerned it's going to affect my finances for years to come.
And I would think if you saw something, when they send you £1 and there's something horrific with it, you probably don't put that in your account, so they keep the £1, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, for just as an example, what these think is funny, I don't know. I mean, I cannot see it, but I would love to tell you if you've got your bleep button.
Well, I'll tell you what. Stay on the line. I'll hand you back to Chris now. Chris, you tell Chris. Chris tells me nobody hears. Okay, so hang on. Off to you, Chris. Back to you, mate. See what he says, and then. I've put him on hold, have I? Oh, that's a good idea. I will put him on hold. Yes, just have. There you go. Now you can. So, and he'll tell me in my headphones, and hopefully quietly enough so that nobody at home hears it. So, what is it, guys? If you care to tell me, and then I'll be able to press on. Can't be that long, can it? So, what is it? Trying to find out. He's talking to him right now. How bad can it possibly be? Oh, right. Right. Oh, blame me. No, that's not. No, I hear what you say. That's not what you want on your account at any level at all, is it?
No, it's absolutely horrific. And like anyone who's, got their finger on the yes or no button for a mortgage or car refinance is going to be potentially looking at that and thinking, is this the kind of guy I want to lend money to?
Absolutely. Right. So the question is, if people desecrate your account, which is in essence what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose and they know you don't like it, so it does beg the question, are these people really friends? Or are they just wasters? It does ask the question. So, Night Owls, if somebody sent you improper, rude, disgusting, and this fits under disgusting, on your references on your account when they send stuff into you, is there a way you can clean that up? Can you ask your bank to do it? If it's offensive to you, surely there's got to be a way of screening that somehow, one way or another. We'll find out what we can and none, but thank you very much. I realise how heinous it is now. We'll take it seriously. Thanks for coming on, man. You take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. It's not attractive, not clever, not even funny. Because sometimes you think, oh, it might be funny. No, it wasn't funny. 0191 488 3188. What are you going to talk about? But if you work in a bank, what's the crack? Can you clean up your account or can you not? We're off to Surrey now. We've got Wayne there. Hi, Wayne.
Hello.
Hello, man. What can we do for you tonight?
Right, I was doing that about, because you said about encounters with critters, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. What's happened to you?
I think it was about 4 years ago, and we was at this place called Denbigh Asylum in Wales.
Right.
And we were doing a live ghost hunt investigation there.
Right.
And all of a sudden, this bat just shot in through this window and hit me straight in the face. And I mean, it was full stuck to my face. Had to pull the thing on. Not to pull it off. It was a bit scary. But,
I was going to say, what happened to its radar? I mean, they're supposed to be like radar-collected creatures.
There's broken windows, and I was standing by the window, and it must have just flown in and not realised it hit me straight in the face.
Well, and presumably if the window is broken, that bat might know that it flies in and out of there all the time. Not
probably does it.
Not expecting some Herbert to be waiting on the other side of the glass. So you're all right, though, because they can carry rabies and stuff,
Yeah, I've not got off. I think I must be all right.
So you haven't been foaming?
Vampire or anything.
You haven't bitten anybody recently or foamed at the mouth a bit?
No.
Good.
Not for the last week, anyway.
Well, thank heavens for that. So how did the ghost hunt go?
It was good, actually. It's a hard place to get into, but if you can get into it, it's like a village in itself inside the place. It's scary at night. It's because there's no lighting or anything. So when you're using EMS and different other equipment, as long as you're not near other electrical equipment, and there isn't, it's all dead in.
Right.
Dead in it. You know what I mean? It's good.
It's full on.
There's an abandoned church in there, but I kept hearing this woman cry. Literally, in this morgue, I could hear her constantly crying. But apparently, the story goes, other people have heard it too before.
Right. That's a cool place by the sound of things. I mean, massive, you say?
Yeah, go on.
You said it's massive, though. You said like a small town.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
If you look it up in Denbigh and you look at the history on it, it's a place to get, if you can get into it, it's one scary place.
Right.
It's full of history. I think it dates back to the 1800s and Most Haunted went there, and I don't think they will go back there again.
Right, okay. It's one for the list, though. That's brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Wayne. Sorry you got a bat in the mouth.
That's all right.
Good talking to you. There you go. Now, everybody says, that bats have, it's got radar. It can fly right past you. And I think we're going to be a bit more careful because we see bats most weeks when we're out in the darkness. And also, the story about the guy getting bitten with an adder, we go plodding around all over wild places. So we're going to have to be an ounce more careful. Sophie's been on about bank statements, and she says, I work in a bank, and yes, we see the names, but no, it doesn't reflect on the person whose account it is. We know it's a reflection of the sender. It's taken in jest. Sophie, you'd be hard-pressed to be justified by this. But anyway, also, can always generate statements either side of the questionable reference. It can't be wiped officially, though. Sorry, how about that? Whoa, cannot be wiped. Time for a piece of music, and it's a beaut. No, I tell a lie. Tony's just pulled the leash and said, it's just adverts, man. Oh, just adverts, man.
A tree there that she could climb to get her up onto it. It used to spread out on it, and she would sit on that branch. Lovely story. Does she still sit on that branch, watching for people like us coming to tell her amazing story? But look at this place. Before we go in, let's just give you an example of what this is. A peel tower. Why was it necessary? Border reivers. The Scots coming down. There was a lot of reasons for you to have a tower. And a lot of people picture reivers as a bunch of hoolies, a bunch of hooligans. Some of them, if you see paintings of a border reiver, it looks like it's a painting of a king.
Gentry, isn't it?
They were gentry, leading a band of hoolies, but to make their family rich. And their family would build buildings like this and defend them. Armstrongs, Charltons, Robsons, they were the three main ones here. Got more stories of them once we get into the woods later on. But you needed them, and I've been researching into reivers. What weapons do you think they would carry then, a reiver back in the day?
Reivers, I would have thought some kind of spears and stuff, and would have had art, like arrows and stuff like
Bows
that.
and arrows.
Yeah.
Swords.
Yeah.
Daggers.
Yeah, all of that.
Axes.
Yeah.
And a thing called a lang pole.
Right.
Now, a lang pole is a border lance. So,
yeah.
But it was essentially a spear. But it was a spear that they used kind of like a sword.
Right, yeah.
It's so they could get people from a horse.
Distance and stuff, yeah, as well.
They never threw it. They stuck it in people.
Brilliant.
And if you've got people like that hanging on your door, the original door for this place is round the other side. And it's, there, in fact, there it is. That's the door there. You see it on the building? Can you see it with your light or without ours, Tony?
You can see the outline.
It's just
not with the beam on. The beam
not with the beam,
it.
right? Well, because if you were trying to break in to a building, it's too easy down here. So you'd have a ladder going up to there, or a set of wooden staircases. And if you hear that reivers are coming, you destroy the stairs so that nobody can get up, and you're more easily defended. But it's over here I want you to see. Not only because this is the area where tragically she fell, and that is far enough comfortably to kill you. But it's just when you get up here and you climb up, you use the tower to watch for reivers. Now, you're watching the countryside for them from up there. Where's the sea from here? That's it over there, isn't it? The sea's in the distance. Yes, behind those houses. But back in the day, obviously from the tower, you're able to see, everything. You see the arrow slots where they'd be defending this place from. And also, if anybody did come desperate to get in, it's so easy to keep him out. Nobody's going to claim through there.
What was his name?
Rollo.
Do you think she saved the last one for him?
Oh.
The
Listen.
last Rollo?
No, it's gone. I'm not sure what it was. Could have been geese, maybe. It's just this. There should be a slab or something here, in my opinion. You know, just to give her the respect. And she said to constantly just stand on the edge, staring out at people.
Bits and pieces in about banks as well. Says, I work in the digital part of a bank that is responsible for the maintenance of online banking, including statements. Transaction references cannot be wiped. The good news is when you apply for credit like a mortgage, they generally only ask for the last 3 months' statements. So in a little while, it won't be an issue. But it's an issue if these characters are sending him cash all the time with improper things on. And also, we've been talking about, have you ever been attacked by a creature? Bad news if somebody wants to pay you back for something. You buy these things, and if you don't like somebody, and you
plant them on them.
Maybe you go to the gym and they've got their clothes lying there, you can just pour the crab lace into the crotch of their underpants, and away you go. It's a horrific thing to do, I reckon.
It is and all. It says here a £34.99 pack. That's in money.
Yeah.
Includes 30 F-strain lice, which the company boasts are almost impossible to get rid of.
Oh my goodness! Hang on a second.
Hang about.
Leanne.
Oh, don't, man.
Leanne, you've had crabs. How did you get rid of them?
Oh.
Hang on, she's just telling me how much. Durback soap, apparently. It works for head lice and it works down there, apparently.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you're a horrible man at times.
I can't argue with that. Let's get back to the calls. Harley's with us from County Durham. And hello, Harley.
Hi, Alan.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
It's my honour. Thanks for coming on. What can we do for you?
Okay, so Alan, I've set up a fundraiser for some friends of mine, and I just wanted to come on the show just to talk a little bit about it.
Please do. Go ahead.
See if I could drum up some support.
Sure.
So some of your listeners might have heard about an incident that took place on the 26th of September at Esso Fuel Forecourt. It was an assault on a man by a 15-year-old.
Yes.
So the man, Tom Malaby, is
He
a father and a husband to two of my friends.
Yes.
He ended up in hospital, and like you say, he later passed away in hospital on Tuesday the 28th.
Yeah.
So Tom he's 40 years old. He's left behind a wife, a son from a previous relationship, and 4 daughters. The oldest is 14, and the youngest is just 5 years old.
Unbelievable.
It's just awful. A 15-year-old was arrested on suspicion of murder.
Right.
He was actually already on bail for previous GBH. He appeared in court last week, and unbelievably, he was actually bailed, which is madness, really.
Well, we've got to go along the lines of innocent until proven guilty and all the rest of it, because that's the way the law works. But this was at a time of night that I know very well, and quite often pick up petrol. We're talking about 20 to 3, I think, in the morning, in the early hours, and it's the one thing you don't expect anybody to be around, particularly at that time of night. You just fill your tank up, and off you go. And again, we don't hear stories like that in the Northeast, because I like to believe we don't have too many of that kind of creature that would do something like that.
No, we don't. Definitely not. Otherwise, I think everybody would be scared to go out, wouldn't they?
100%. So what are you doing that we can help with then?
So as a result of that, I've set up a fundraiser on Just Giving. I was hoping to raise about £500 for the family.
Right.
I've currently got just shy of £300, but I would like to try and get a little bit more.
No, absolutely. That's great. So how can people find it?
So you guys are going to be posting it across your social media.
We will.
But also, if listeners went onto Google and searched Just Giving, there'll be a little magnifying glass on the website, and if they type in search and type in my name, which is Harley, like the motorbike, and surname is Greener, like greener grass.
Right.
If they scroll down, There's a little heading of crowdfunding, and it's the first one under there.
Right.
And it's titled "Give Funds to the Family of Thomas Malaby."
Unbelievable. Horrible, horrible tale. If anything can be turned around so that we can make something out of this horrific tragedy, and it was an awful thing to happen. Thank you for doing what you're doing, Harley. Again, he's one of us. We should look after him, and if we can help his family in any shape or form. If there are any businesses listening as well, maybe, connected to petrol companies. I was going to mention Esso, but that could have happened at any petrol station anywhere.
Yeah.
So if anybody's listening that wants to help the family, please head in that direction and give what you can afford to give, because the family are in a very, very dark place at the moment. Harley, thank you for what you're doing. We've just put it out on our live stream too, so we're getting it out there as much as we can for you.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No
and I
problem.
appreciate everyone that's already donated as well. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Harley. All the best. Bye-bye. Lovely thing to do. What a diamond she is. 01914 488 3188. Get your calls in. We're hearing about adders in different places.
Any amount of black adders in the Simon Side Hills, that's absolutely lifting with them.
Simon Side Hills, really? I would never have thought.
Everywhere. Oh, aye.
We're told that they're a species that's not growing in the way that they should, because they used to be all over places like Wooler back in the day, and then all of a sudden nobody'd seen one for years. Presume, can they kill you? Because I was always told they could when I was a little lad, but that was probably just to stop me picking one up.
Yeah, I know. I would never give it the chance.
Tell me your stories. How common are vipers, adders, all the rest of them? You know, the snakes of the north. We're supposed to have slow worms, corn snakes. I remember somebody just at school just handing me a corn snake. Little thin thing, went up my arm. And you go, oh, this is fun. Not for a second did I think, if it bit, could I die? Because you're a kid. Ooh, it's just fun. So tell me about adders and vipers, though, because now I'm aware that I go plodding in the dark most weeks in the countryside. I'm more intrigued than I used to be. 01914 488 3188. Have creatures attacked you? We want that story. Sue from Washington is with us too. Hi, Sue.
Hello, Alan.
Hello there. Hi.
Right. I know I updated you last week about my sister.
Yes.
But my brother spoke to us the other day. It was on Monday, I think, Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
And she's literally got weeks. The cancer, yeah, it's gone to her liver. So she's got no chance. Yeah. And my mum's been to see her today. I mean, I'll never get to see her again because, we're a pair, obviously.
Right.
And but I'll never get to see her again.
There's no chance somebody could drive you down because it's.
Well, my husband, but it's just like, I don't think she'd want to see us anyway because my mum's been today and she said you wouldn't want to see her like that. She was sitting in a chair and she said she's yellow because it makes
her
her
liver,
like
yeah.
jaundice, and and she said she was talking but she wasn't. Her eyes kept closing and opening them again, and my mum said when she went in, how you doing? And she said, I'm still hanging on.
Heartbreaking, isn't it? Because there's not a thing you can do. You must feel so helpless in that situation.
I mean, I said to my mum, look, shall we come down? And she said, well, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. I said, we'll be there for you for a start. But she said, no, there's nothing you can do. She said, I'm all right. She said, I've got Penny. And she said, I don't sleep on a night because she's got it going over her head all the time,
Yeah.
Oh,
my goodness. Is your sister in a hospice? Has she got people that are guiding her down the path?
No, she's at home. She does want, all along, she said, look, when it's time for me to go, she thought obviously she had a lot longer. She is going to go in the hospice. That's what she wanted. She said, I don't want to die at home because I don't want people saying, oh, I can't go and see Peter because Deb died in the house. Oh, no, I don't like to go there, So she was planning to go in the hospice, but I don't think I'll get that far. I really don't. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but I think once it gets in your liver, you've had it, haven't you? Really.
Well, it's a shorter path you've got left, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, darling.
it's I just wish you was on every night of the week to keep us going, because you've helped so many owls in the past, and you know, and to not have a voice like on a night time so I can drop off to sleep, you know, it's you know, and listen to stories and stuff. But it's my birthday today anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Talk about bittersweet, my goodness.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had the grandchildren here, and that's been nice. And the youngest one, she drew me a picture,
right?
Or she'd stuck stickers because she's only 2-year-old, you know. And but she's a clever little thing.
Yeah.
And that's for you, Nanny. And her mum said, "Do you want to give Nanny the other one, Chloe?" So she had this other one that was all stickers, and that was for my sister. And she said she'd done it because she's not very well, so there's a picture there for my sister.
Bless.
You know, so oh God,
it's not for the want of loving that she's leaving us. You know, things will be what they'll be, and you cannot put a date on it. I know doctors say, you know, you've got this much and that much, and it never quite works out that way. It's always either earlier or later, or because they're guessing. That's how it is. I just hope that she can pass without any kind of pain.
Well, you know, she actually, believe it or not, her and my brother-in-law went out yesterday for a little stroll down the beach.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And she went because she said, "Oh, my pain was under control."
Great.
But my mum said, "Oh, you know, she looked so ill and yellow," and she said, "You wouldn't want to see her like that."
I understand. I know a few people have said to me that if you know, for the sake of your memory, you've got to try and think beyond that, because you want to remember them when they were full of life and vivacious and busy and funny and all the things that they are as a person. Because all of that gets eaten away by that damn disease.
Yeah, it's just I cannot forget the horrible memories. They seem to overtake the good memories. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like with my dad, and there's not many things I can remember because I've always got that bad memory. You know, when obviously he died in front of us. I mean, cancer took my dad, and now it's going to take sister. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Hey, fate has a way of balancing itself out, and hopefully her next bounce, her next existence can be a happy one, free from pain, free from any kind of misery. I believe that that's the case. She'll be out of pain, and I wish her well on her next journey. But in the meantime, all you can do is love the woman. You know.
My mum actually made us cry the other day because she's got my dad's ashes at home in like a casket in the bedroom. Because when my mum said, "When I go, your dad's coming in with us," you know. And so she talks to him, and she said, "Frank," she said, "wait for Deb when she comes." Yeah. You know, and oh God, it just broke my heart. You know, and your parents shouldn't have to see your child go. No. Before them, you know.
No, things just seem to be so very different. I can remember going back 15 to 20 years, and you would say, "Oh, cancer will get 1 out of 10 of us." And there was an advert on TV last week saying cancer will get 1 out of every 2 of us. And you're thinking, what has generated that to become the beast that it is? And we spent the whole last year and a half worrying about a flu-like virus that travels around, and cancer's eating us alive, isn't it?
Yeah, and see, we've missed like 2 years of going down to stay with my mum and see my sister. I mean, we did go down at Christmas last year. Yeah, end of last year. What we in now? Yeah, and we had to come home on Christmas Day because he put us on lockdown, didn't he? So we travelled. We actually opened presents, ate a dinner, and then drove back home.
Crazy.
And we've missed everything. I've missed seeing my sister as much, and you know, and it's.
It's been awful. It's
I
been
know
awful.
I'm not the only one. There's loads of other people in the same situations.
And what you've got to be is be strong for yourself. You know, you've got to look after yourself too. You've got enough issues to worry about. All you can do is love and make contact. Let her know that she's loved. And I know there's been issues and bits and pieces, but as long as she knows how you feel about her, you know, that's as much as you can do, especially in your situation. But so good luck to you, Dawn. Thank you for coming back on. Keep us posted.
I will do. Thanks, Alan. Thank you.
Blimey, how awful. What a place to be in. Going to take another quick break. And you may get the news on the end of this too. You're with the big one. Alan Robson, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. You give us a call right now.
Oh, there's a bat. Our first bat.
Seen a bat before?
Yeah. But it says that sometimes, sometimes you see a figure plummeting down, and it said not to plummet down. It falls like linen, apparently, what people see from up there. And of course, as soon as we've done an investigation inside of here, let's get out into the wilderness, the darkness, and look at how black it is. My goodness, talk about intimidating. We're heading in there. Yeah. It's where the dead reavers are buried just under the surface, apparently, if the stories are true. And there's 3 other stories of people who worked for the castle who came to a sticky end down there. Amazing. Right. This is going to be their amazing walled garden. This is where they carried out their archaeological dig, finding all kinds of things. Imagine just coming to a place like this. If you're at school, your school brings you out to do some history, and you discover things that are like 10,000 years old. We are right now. Don't need torches for the ground floor. I know Tony's going to freeze at some point in here. Wow. This is the Peel Tower. Amazing. Now, we have a brand new gadget, thanks to you guys, that we will... That's probably me.
Do you want to explain what it does for people that don't know?
It's a thing called a REM pod, and it's designed so that if any energy passes it, it makes a noise. If a lot of energy passes it or stays around it, it will light up and be glitzy, glammy, and loud. So we've got to listen out for that, especially when we're on other floors. This, at one time, was a wine cellar for the house in the 1700s. There's a few images here that you're probably not going to be able to get to, but there was a house attached to this at one point. They just stuck it on the side, and it didn't have long left to live. And the story that I've heard, some people say that it went into decline and a whole lot of that. The true story of the building that was here, it was just simply not grand enough for the family that lived here. They wanted something even bigger and better, and they ended up building Cresswell Hall. Now, Cresswell Hall is just up the road, and some people say that Cresswell Hall fell apart because it was haunted, and they ended up leaving it. Now, there's plenty of stories of subsidence in that area as well. I'm sure that was an issue. But one member of the family claimed it was too haunted, and that's why the council couldn't sell it when they took it over. The council tried to sell it for 6 years without being able to get rid of it. Now, don't forget to share this broadcast. You'll win yourself a nice prize and some goodies. We've got a whole range of goodies we stick in a bag for you. But share this broadcast, if you will. Let's get our tale out there to as many people. And that story of a building being cursed, I can't think of any other reason why a building that was based loosely on the temples of Solomon, with a huge garden that was modelled on Versailles, that's Cresswell Hall, why would that be allowed to fall into disrepair?
Crazy, isn't it? When you see it on there, that picture there.
Well, that's not it. That's the mansion house that we see here.
Right.
Cresswell Hall's just up the road, but it was massive, and there's only the stable block left. But for it only to have existed for about 100 years, you think it's got to be a good reason. But in here, we've got in the cabinet, you've got red ochre, which people over the years have painted and drawn with. You've got a reindeer skull as well. It is amazing. But I think we should go into the dark place. Stick your torch down.
But it's on the stairs in case anything passes.
I love the fact that there's an HP bottle in there.
So that's the REM pod.
An HP sauce bottle in there.
Yeah.
A glass one.
It is amazing. I brought a little, because people were asking, can you bring a head torch or something similar? So I've got a little tiny. Well, I'm going to bring this one just to...
You need the light vision, I think.
Yeah, let's try the night vision, Kenny.
And the necromancer people are asking for.
It's just there's no signal down here for it whatsoever. So you need a telephone signal.
Are we not using the mic on this one now? Can do, or just
Let's
the other
get
one.
it.
Let's get what we can for them.
Now, again, I always say that on buildings like this. How's a knight with swords and stuff supposed to get up somewhere like this with narrow steps? Oh my goodness, this is huge. Yeah, I see a couple of things.
They're in the main. That's the main doorway. The original doorway.
That's the original doorway.
Thanks, Georgina. Alan Robson with you, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thanks for coming along. We've been talking about attacks. Sometimes it goes the other way. So you heard a squeak and you looked down and you were standing on your budgie.
Yeah.
What was your budgie called? Lucky?
It was Lucky, for us, as a matter of fact. And when I picked it up, it bit it, so...
Well, I'm not surprised. Poor thing. Welcome to your new... Oh, sorry. Oh, dear. And when we're talking about critters, who fancies a mouse in this neck of the woods?
I'd just come out of the shower and I was getting ready to go to work.
Right.
Well, I had a washing basket in my bedroom and I had my tights, black tights on the wash basket so I could just put them on.
Yes.
And when I picked my tights up, I thought, they were heavy.
What had you left in those tights, Janet?
The cat had brought a little baby mouse in from outside and it went straight up my tights.
Oh, no,
Alan,
no.
I got such a fright, I went white.
And then there's always the spider.
I'm standing talking to somebody, I've got like my elbows, and I just felt something tickling on my elbow, and I looked, it was a spider. It had crawled out from under like the table, up onto my arm. And I'm like, I hate them as big as them. Honestly, I can't stand spiders.
So, because everybody thinks, we're grown men, we've got to behave with a certain amount of demeanour. You scream like a girl.
I've got worse as I've got older.
So we're talking about critters having an attack. And Mad Dog McNair has sent this in. Alan, I've probably been attacked by every animal imaginable. Head-butted from a giraffe, Lambton Lion Park, back in the day. A 500-pound gorilla at Edinburgh Zoo cracked the viewing glass. I could have beat Mo Farah that day. Donkeys, goats, llamas, peacocks, pigs, ponies, even a hedgehog's bit me. Worse than that, there was a king vulture at South Lake Safari Park. It cornered me and waited until I turned to watch the bird show, then attacked me, clawing my head and neck. I tend to stay away from animals and ride a motorbike now so I can get away faster. But even this Saturday I was riding from Malton and a pheasant and his mate walking across the road decided both to turn, jump and fly into me, trying to knock me off my bike. I'm still picking feathers out the front of it. Stay away from animals as best I can. Mad Dog McNair. There you go. So, have you been attacked? Have you interacted with wild creatures of any kind, however small, however large? Now, every week we're running this new competition and you're loving it. It's called Who's Hits. Who's It's? I'm going to give you 4 clues. The answer to each clue is a song title. The first 3 are quite tricky. The last one usually gives it away. If you have the stamina and the wit and guile to do it. The first clue is this. What hounds usually see when they're out on the hunt? Okay? What hounds usually see when they're out on the hunt? That's your first clue. 3 more clues to come, and then you've got to tell me the name of the artist or artistes responsible for the hits, the greatest hits. Okay? Get ready for that. Let's crack on. Get as many of you on air as we can, starting off with Alan, who is in the city of Durham. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan. Good evening.
Evening to you, sir. What you got for us?
I've got a terrible echo down the phone for a start off, so I do apologise.
Okay.
A few years ago, I was camping in the Lake District and decided that I would go fell walking
Right.
in the Western Lakes. And as per usual, the weather got bad, my map got soaked, and I was trying to navigate my way back without a map and just a compass. And I got a bit lost. Anyway, it got darker and darker, and I ended up going down this single-track road.
Right.
And there was trees to my right and left, and it was almost pitch black dark. And I've listened to Night for years, and you know all those ghostly stories that you keep saying, and I keep hearing things like, I think I'm imagining something here, and I could hear rustling, and I'd stop, and I'd move on a bit forward, and there was a bit more rustling, and I thought, there's something in the right-hand side of the wood.
Right.
So I'm walking down the middle of this road, like I said, almost the pitch black dark. And then all of a sudden, this great big black thing stepped out. And I thought, what the hell's that? And then I just switched my head torch on, which was like nearly dead. It was this little faint glow. And I could see this great big stag about 10 foot in front of it.
Whoa.
And he was magnificent. He just stopped. And I froze. And he looked at us, and I thought, oh, my God. And I'd heard these stories about a stag that had turned a Land Rover up about a month before. He knocked it over in the middle of the road. And I'm thinking, no, and I'm standing here like 10 feet away from it. What do I do? And I swear it was nearly a brown trouser moment, but it was so beautiful, and I just froze with fear and panic.
Yeah.
And I don't think he quite knew what he made of me. And we looked at each other for what seemed to be like an age. It was like time had stood still, and the stag just stood there in the middle of the road looking at me. And I thought, what do I do? What do I do? And he stood and he looked and he sort of nodded his head almost, and he just turned his neck away and walked forward and crossed the road and into the wood. What a beautiful, magnificent creature. And I swear he was huge. He was towering above me. And the antlers on him were massive and must have been a good, mature stag.
Right. Hey, first of all, you're really lucky to see such a thing, because unless you live on a deer park these days, you very rarely see like the traditionally, that painting in the Highlands of the stag, where you see the full, all of the hat rack out on display. You're very, very lucky. I don't know whether they're known for attacking people. I've not heard a lot of that, but the difference is, it doesn't matter what you've heard. When you're in the middle of the dark and you're 10 foot away from one, that's a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I was completely lost as well, and I hadn't got a clue where the campsite was. I was trying to kind of find a way to,
where
back
you were.
to the tent.
Sure.
And this thing steps out, and I'm like, I was thinking about all the night owl stories, and all the ghostly stories, and I'm walking down, and I can hear this rustling in the woods.
Yeah.
And just to see this great big thing step out in front of me was like, oh,
I mean, I bet it was amazing.
Moment, but it was the most magnificent thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
But I'd rather not go through it again.
And all your family would have said, "Did you not take a picture of it?" You're not in any kind of you're not in any kind of way of feeling, I think I'll just reach into my pocket now. And no, you're just thinking, will I be alive in 5 minutes? That's the thing.
Well, this is it. I mean, I'd never imagined how big it was, because you see the deer in the deer park.
Yeah.
They're quite small and cute.
Yeah.
They're like a little pony or something like that. And this stag was big.
Huge. Right.
He was like 8 foot tall. And I'm like, oh my God. What do you do? You don't know where you are. You can't call for help. You want to scream, but you're frozen.
Yeah. Fantastic. But what a memory, though, because you remember that the day you died, because it was a
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
bit of nature that just came out and let you see, you know. It's
But
super
proper
cool.
brown trouser moment.
Yeah, no, I bet. I believe it. Thanks, Al. Anything else while you're on, mate?
No, thank you very much. Great show.
No
Keep
worries.
up the good
Bless
work.
you, man. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. I was in Scotland about driving back in snow, which is never a good idea, through the Cairngorms, which are very snowy. Even in the middle of the year, you usually get snow on them. And in the distance, top of the hill, I saw a stag, like he's describing, but it was like 500 yards away, leading a herd of other deer through the snow while I was driving in snow. And you're thinking, wow, I got a blast out of just seeing a herd of deer. Because you don't. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be up close and personal like that. Wow. So it's tremendous, but in the pitch black, you don't want that happening to you, really. 0191 488 3188. Tony's been on, trusty taxi driver, whose hits, and he's written it out, and it still looks wrong. What hounds usually see on the hunt? Isn't it the hound in front's backside? Doesn't remind me of any song I've heard. Well, you see, you just got to think more deeply. And don't think of pencil sharpeners. Think of other things. What else could they possibly see? It's the name of a song, and you will have 3 more clues to try and firm up which direction you're going. We have David, who is in Newcastle upon Tyne. Hello, David.
Hello, Alan. I've got a couple of questions to ask you.
Okay, no problem.
One about Tyson Fury's fight last night. He can't be beat.
Right.
He can't be beat. He's not well out third time.
Uh-huh.
So he can't be beat. He's good, good. It was a good fight last night. I watched it.
Right.
And I've got another couple of questions.
Okay.
These were a bit of advice on.
Okay.
What can I do?
Right, about what?
I'm living in a care home, right?
Right.
And then I've been locked up for criminal damage for 30, 40 years for smashing a window.
Hang on, 30 or you've been locked up in a care home for 30 or 40 years?
I've been to prison. I've been to Northgate for forensics.
Right.
I've come to a care home.
Right.
And so I'm on definition of donald.
Right.
And, I've been locked up for 30 years. And I've just got out 2016 from forensics. I've done all the courses.
Right.
And somebody's paying for, I get 4 hours a day, 1-to-1, and I don't get it. So I don't, because there's no staff.
Right.
And I'm going to punish it. I've been on the phone to some people, and then verbally abusing this, swearing it is and that. And I'm just being on the phone to some people, authorities, when they do nothing about it.
It's difficult. It's difficult at the moment because even people who want to see their own doctors are being told. Not at the moment.
It's been going on for 2 or 4 years for the COVID. 2 or 4 years for the COVID.
Yeah, before the COVID. Oh, right. Well,
before the COVID, 2 or 4 years.
Right.
But it's been going on. But them are getting paid in the pocket and the money. And a couple of people have been swearing. My ma heard them on the phone swearing.
Right.
And they say, I want to get £8.92 an hour. We're not bothered with paying them. Oh, please stay. But it's verbal bullyment.
Well, it sounds like you're being bullied. Have you thought of writing to your local councillor and saying, look, I'm in a situation here and I need your help? Because your councillor represents you. And if the services that you're talking about, now, obviously we can't name names.
We can't name names.
But if we're talking people attached to the council, then that's the person to deal with them.
But over the been there, other families, every other families have been there and they're doing nothing about it.
Right. Well, in which case, then you have to, if the councillor can't help you, then you move on to your local MP. You get your local MP. They have an office. Write to them, demand help from them, and see what they'll do for you. Hopefully, they'll make a few inquiries and get to the bottom of it.
But I've been on the phone to right people, but they know nothing about it. But I go to the office every day and they just can't. I've got a minor learning disability. It says 1, 2, 3 store doesn't add up, and the police will do nothing about it. So I don't know what to do.
Well, I don't know your health situation. I don't know any of the ins and outs of it. But if you're unhappy there, and your family are obviously unhappy about it too, then you've got to try and do something.
Other families, other families.
Other families.
I've seen things happen where it shouldn't happen, but they're paying them. They're saying, "Oh, please stay. We've got no staff. Please stay."
Right, and they're telling you to stay. Why? I mean, do you have a place to go and live if you weren't in there?
No, I've been the authorities in that.
No, but have you got a place to stay if you weren't there?
Have I?
Right, okay. In which case, get yourself to... Yeah, I mean, do you ever talk to your ordinary GP?
GP, I talk to the GP, but he says it does not. He comes in, they come to home, they give him presents.
Right.
And they give him out, it does not.
Right, but you've told him that you want out.
I'll tell everybody, solicitor, CPN, if I want out, they know what's going on, but do nothing about it.
So, but your solicitor should be able to pull a few strings. I mean, he's a solicitor, for heaven's sake.
Done out, it's tried, but it's done out.
Right, there may be more going on, but if there isn't, you need to contact your MP and demand that he does something about it. Tell him that you're a prisoner here, because that's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
I am. I've done 30 years. I was going to commit suicide and I've done nothing about the home. And they says, deal with it.
Deal with it?
Oh, I thought it says, aye. But when I go to the head office, I see the manager, two managers says, tell Jack and Norris, don't want it out. The social worker doesn't mind that.
Right.
They tell social workers lies all the time. I don't know what to do.
Right, well, I mean, go to an MP and tell them your story.
Them on the phone, effing and blaming that, but nobody do nothing about it.
Right, well, I mean, there may be more to it than I'm not hearing, because obviously I only get one side. But if it is as you say, you should demand through your local MP, find out who it is, and then write to them, or find out when they're going to be at their... Most of them have a surgery where you can go along and talk to them. If that's the case, I'm stunned that your solicitor can't do anything about it, as I say, unless there's more to it. But thank you for coming on, David. Good luck to you. Hope you managed to work it out. Horrific if that's the case, being trapped. Giving you your first clue. A lot of people getting this wrong. 3 more clues, see if you can answer them all, and then you can have a guess. Now, let's the stars come out at night. Mr. Big, great band, short-lived. There was an original Mr. Big who had a hit with Romeo. Then there was a rock band, Eric Martin, Billy Sheehan, and a batch of others teaming up to talk about the early years. Where are you both from?
Well, I'm an Army brat, so, that means, traveled around the world. I was born in New York City, actually Long Island, New York. So, I like to say New York City, but, Long Island, little on the outskirts. Yeah. And, but I traveled around, from Italy to Germany, Switzerland, going to school. And now I live San Francisco. Well, not really San Francisco, outside of San Francisco.
I hope you got a few friends now, because you couldn't have many traveling around the way you did.
No, well, yeah, Billy, Pat, and Paul, that's it.
What about you, Bill?
Myself, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. Well, I always say I'm from Buffalo, he's from normal parents. But it's an old joke, but sometimes they work.
Oh, it still works after, 15 years. I love it. I love that one.
And I grew up and played there my whole life up to 85, moved out to L.A., and I've been there ever since. And I still pop back home once in a while to Buffalo to see my old friends. But L.A. is my hometown now.
Right. Growing up, were you good kids, bad kids? What kind of kids were you?
That's a tough one. I'm raising 2 5-year-old boys, and they're, I'm trying to teach them some, right from wrong, and and they're going, well, Dad, did you do these bad things that I'm supposedly have done? And I go, yeah, I was kind of a troublemaker, but
don't you be that way?
Yeah, but don't do as I do.
The torches that we use, these are massive. This thing here, Tony, I don't know whether you can come and see this. It's a sperm whale bone. The bone of a sperm whale.
200-year-old, that next year.
Yeah, 1822. Yeah. Amazing.
So that's older than any living person on the planet.
This is Quite a building. Not getting any kind of feel. Are you feeling anything, Kenny? I'm just going to sit and see. Oh, the firing. Oh, just gone. Did you catch that, Kenny?
I think I might go to the main cam. It just went off there straight away, didn't it? The sort of, I don't know what the images but that went off there straight away. That's strange, isn't it?
Well, it's something.
Yeah, that's because in its first early doors, they went off straight away.
Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Was that over beside you?
It seemed to be this way.
You heard it though?
Oh, I definitely heard it.
Did you get it, Tony?
No, I'm just trying to reconnect. We've gone off the
Oh, we've gone, have we?
off the Wi-Fi.
The ball went straight away then.
Yeah.
Last week and then it never did it again the rest of the night, did it?
Yeah.
It's like it was a single.
Are we back, Tony?
Just keep going because this is recording. Doesn't make any difference.
Did you manage to catch any of the ball?
I think I got the ball on here.
I think I'm pining for the bigger light, maybe. Anything on the night vision, Kenny?
Well, when the ball went off, there was like a flickering one here as well.
Right.
Yeah, which I couldn't explain it from there. It's sort of up. I'm intrigued by this here, which is a toilet, isn't it?
It's got poo in it. I'm not kidding.
It has, I know.
I don't know whether they've got one of the old-fashioned toilets used in the Peel Tower.
It's called, it's not called, what do you think it's called? Is it Garderobe?
Garderobe.
Garderobe.
Yeah, it's the French for it.
Yeah. So that's where they hung their clothes in there as well. To keep the moths away, apparently. They hung them up because you put their clothes in there and that would keep the moths away. And now instead you hang your clothes in what?
A wardrobe.
Exactly.
A garderobe.
Wardrobe. There you go. Learn something tonight.
Tell you, we're educating ourselves every time. There's a lot of cool artifacts in these things as well, things they've found in glass cases. If there's anything there, please let yourself be known to us.
Love this sort of kids can sort of dig through the sand.
Dig through the sand and pull bones and crockery and stuff out. If there's anything here, make yourself known to us. We've come for you. If there is any remnant of the past still here, share with us. Oh. Just got a little bit of movement on the balcony, on the minstrel's gallery.
There.
Yeah. Just got a little bit of movement. You getting anything, Kenny?
Not on here. There was a noise there, like a scratching noise.
What's coming from the back, from the gallery?
Yeah. And once again, strange, no holes, nothing.
Isn't that weird? There's a ton of dust in here, but not a hint of an hole. It completely changes the grand fireplace. You're trying to picture this in the day, what it would have been like with people in here. It is. It's peaceful in here, though, isn't it? I'm not picking up any kind of negative vibe at all. And I know people have put this place back together again, which is positive and lovely. But for the amount of stuff that's happened here and hereabouts, or maybe just not inside. Maybe just not inside.
It's a different vibe altogether when you go from here.
Is it?
It's freezing. Just there.
But that is the weight of the roof, isn't it?
It is. It's really cold.
That's weird, because if you put your hand in there, that's actually not cold. How weird is that? Because you'd have thought that would be reach in if you want.
Yeah.
It's not cold.
No. But yeah, it is.
So how's that possible?
I have no idea.
Different people. Do my little trick again. Yeah, I've got a warm arm and a cool arm, and the cool arm's inside.
Different feeling just there.
Now, I think this leads up to the balcony. I'm gonna see where.
And the roof.
And the roof. I'm not going to the roof yet, but I think the balcony definitely. Be careful coming up here, Kenny. I know you like. Right. We're up.
In that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And we're talking about Creech has got so many stories.
It was my night to have the coffee night, so I thought, I better move this hamster,
Right.
put him in the front porch,
Yeah.
So I covered him over nicely with a nice tea towel. And I thought, well, he'll not get any drafts there. Well, next morning, Alan, his chollas were full, his cheeks were full. He'd eaten the tea towel, and the person was as stiff.
He'd eaten the tea towel.
Well, that's part of the tea towel, and it was dead. Honestly, Alan, to this day, Philip is now 42, and he still calls us the hamster murderer.
Oh, what a shame. Unbelievable stories where it comes to strange creatures of one sort or another. Anyway, let's move on. We've got Milky who's with us in Stockton. Hello, Milky.
Hello, Mr. Robson. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for coming on. What you got for me?
It's just that Chris contacted me a couple of months ago, asked me if I want to come on for an update.
Okay.
I used to phone the old show.
Uh-huh.
If you remember, I phoned up to talk about adverts like when you were a kid.
Yes.
And I was singing about the horse seasons, and
I remember it well.
I don't want it to sound weird, but you made me feel really relaxed and like I was talking to a friend.
Well, go where you are. So, what you got for me tonight anyway, Milky?
I talked that night about being sexually abused as a kid.
Yes.
And over the course of about 3 conversations with you, you said quite a few things that helped me on my way, really.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And I phoned up once and I was drunk, and you managed to stop me going down the road I shouldn't have been going down. And it's just to give you like the update and everything. And you were like the first person I sort of spoke to out live about it.
Well, that's a gutsy thing to even think about doing. How are you coping now then, Milky?
Up and down, but pretty good. I mean, after the show, I was on Facebook, and there's a guy called, he won't mind me mentioning, called Danny, who has a thing called Shatter Boys.
Right.
I sort of got talking to them, and I went to an exhibition and opened it up for them. He persuaded me to do it. I told, like, one of my poems and what it meant to me about, like, the invisible child inside.
Right.
So I did, like, the exhibition and that. I got involved a bit. I've since, with, like, come on, brain work. I've got it written down here. What I need to talk about.
It's not a panic, take your time.
I go the squirrel. You know when you get the squirrel moment when you got so much to say and it all.
Yep.
Yeah. But with like Danny and the Shatter Boys, they really helped me to put me on the path I needed.
Right, good.
As well as yourself, when you were talking to Julie once, and you said, basically, I was drinking too much, and when I was off work, I couldn't cope with being off work when you had like quiet time.
Yeah.
I was necking a bottle of like whiskey and stuff a night.
Ah, crazy.
Trying to drown everything out. Well, with one of the guys, I went on like a 5-day bender where I ended up outside my abuser's place one night, ready to smash the door down. But he's been dead 40 years. You know, that doesn't help.
Right.
And then the next night, Julie found me about 1:30 on a motorway bridge the other side of the barrier, because I just couldn't cope.
Right.
And then the next night, I phoned Wayne, one of the guys from Shatter Boys. We had a good long chat, and I ended up, that was the 5th of June 2019, and I haven't touched a drop of alcohol since.
Oh, what am I? That's heroic. Well done.
It's difficult because it's as you said. I think you said on one of the times I was talking to you, you're not going to find the answer at the bottom of a bottle.
That's a
and
fact.
you're right.
That's a fact.
I was trying to block everything out, and using alcohol just made things 10 times worse, you know.
The thing that I've never understood, and obviously I know how alcohol works, blame me, I used to drink enough of it. It's a depressive, right? Whatever alcohol you drink, doesn't matter how nice and tasty it is at the moment, it's a depressive. So if you're suffering from down moments in your life, to pick up something that's going to make them darker, to me just doesn't make any sense. And I know for that temporary 5, 6, 7, 8 hours maybe, it blurs everything for you, so you're not feeling. Then all of a sudden you get your feeling back, but it's worse than ever. That's not the way to try and get away with anything. You've taken the leap, and it's a massive leap, I think, to say no more of that and just shut the door on it. I mean, how easy has it been? Because I would have bet people around you are still offering you, do you fancy a pint? Do you want a short? Do you want this? Do you want that? How do you avoid getting into that situation then?
To be fair, everybody who I've known really has been pretty supportive because they've seen the damage it can do, and I've sort of had to. I mean, I don't want to say man up because I hate that expression.
Yeah.
But I was hurting my family, and in so doing, if I'd have jumped that night, it was my abuser would have won, and I don't.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want him. I know it's still a rude word. I don't want him to win.
No.
You know what I mean? And I don't want him to hurt my family the way that I was letting him.
Great. That's good. Good on
I
you.
was drinking to try and numb it, like you say, numb it out.
Yeah.
And if I, like you say, I shouldn't laugh about it, but the particular night, I'd searched the house, there was no drink left, and I opened this box, and it was a Christmas box, so I sucked a bottle of sherry. And I was sort of stood on this motorway bridge thinking, there ain't no way I'm going to go after down a bottle of sherry. If it had been JD, that was a bit more rock and roll. You know what I mean? But
hey, when they're picking up a body from a road like a pheasant or a hedgehog, there's nothing rock and roll about that, man.
No, but just in my head, JD was sort of manly, where Sherry was like Mavis Riley. And I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but the end result's the same. That's the thing, though. But hey, the fact that you've managed to stay off it, that's tremendous. Congratulations to you, man. Absolute respect.
I've got to mention a group, if I can, called Man Health from the North East. They've helped me tremendously. It's men who get together to talk about the depression, the suicidal thoughts they have, and I learned through them suicidal thoughts, just temporary things in your head, and it's just when you don't want to die, you just want the pain in your head to stop, and the moment you start facing it, that's when you get better.
No, absolutely.
I've got images in my head that are like a sick movie of what this guy did to me, and they're always going to be there. And I've been through counselling again. I'm in between counselling at the moment because I've finished my sessions. A couple of weeks ago, I had a meltdown. Well, last week I had a meltdown at work because my counselling was finishing. My diabetes is not under control as it should be, but it's all like comfort eating and stuff. And it just, I went to the gym last night for the first time in 2 years. Man Health. Sorry, I told you squirrel moment. Man Health have helped me because it's sitting around in a room talking, and without Shatterboys, I wouldn't have done that because I always thought it was going to be some sort of competition when you go to these places. Well, they've had it worse than me, so why am I winning so much?
Yeah.
And it was never like that, which really surprised me. Well, not surprised me because they're lovely people in both like Shatterboys, Empower, and Manor. And it helped hearing other people who've been through the same thing. You just didn't feel alone anymore.
Yeah, because when you don't do that, you get the impression that you're the only person that's ever had it that bad. And then when you realise that these kind of things, tragically, are far more common than we want to believe, then you start to realise, well, hang on, maybe there is a chance for me. All of these other guys are managing. How can I do it? And as I say, you're turning it around. You're becoming, though, in groups like that, one of the people that people will look towards to say, look how far he's come. Because you can tell him, blimey, look at where I was. I was, seconds away from a splat on a motorway, for heaven's sake. What a crap way to go out. You know what I mean? It's just, for all of the people that love you and that you don't realise how much they love you, you don't want to put your family through stuff like that, man. No.
Well, one of our drivers a few years ago, I won't mention his name, he had a guy did it with him jumped straight in front of his truck, he went underneath, and he's never been straight since.
No.
And he's just transferred the pain onto somebody else, and I couldn't do that, you know what I mean?
No,
it's not fair on them. I mean, I've got sort of ways and means if it gets too much, but I've always found reasons not to do it, and the reason is because I don't want to die. I just want this in my head to stop.
Absolutely.
And like the pain and stuff, like I say, and it's what you face. Get emotional. Sorry. Sometimes
No. It's sorry. I've spoken to quite a lot of people that have had horrific episodes in their life that are beyond horrible. And one lady said to me years ago, and she'd been through 3 physical sexual assaults by the same person who kept getting released from prison and then going after her again. That's why they should never get out. And she said after the 3rd time, the therapist said to her, you've got to keep all of your feelings in a locked box. You'll never forget a second of what happened to you, but they're under lock and key. They can't hurt you anymore. I'm not prepared to let them out. They're under lock and key. They're in my mind, but they're not coming out again. They're not going to spoil the rest of my life. And I thought that was a courageous way to deal with it. But you've got to find your own way. You've got to find your own way to get past it all.
Yeah, talking about it, I mean, I write poetry. It's not brilliant, mate. People say it's good, but I'm very, very self-critical. And I get annoyed if I can't rhyme a word properly, and some of it's very childlike because I've met people. There's a lady from down south called Chris Tuck, and she talks about the mind and how the mind's affected. Because obviously, when I was abused, I was 10-year-old when it started, and he was like late 70s. I was 78 or something. He was, and it went on for 4.5 years. And now you look back, and you get annoyed because of how I've very controlled my life in some ways. I never thought I was worthy of being happy, and every time I get happy, if something doesn't go wrong, I sort of make it go wrong so that I'm in control, if you like.
Yeah.
And it's just this thing of not feeling that you're worth it, you know what I mean? And I'm getting over that.
Good. But the thing is, your poetry is probably the most relevant thing because you know exactly what happened to you. You can express that in the words you put into a poem, and others can't do that. And that's got to be helpful to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful to me. I mean, some of it isn't too bad. There's things I think if, like, the police got hold of it and read it, they're thinking, hang on, this guy needs locking up because he's seriously intent on harming someone. But I want to harm a dead man. You know what I mean? So
No, I
it's kind of weird. It's like when the anger and the emotion comes out and it flows. I've read stuff. I mean, I was writing stuff before from about, well, from when I was a kid up to, like, when the whole Savile thing hit, I wrote more. And it's like, some of it I read, and it's quite scary, and I'm thinking, if it wasn't me who knew me, I'd want him locked up, this guy.
Yeah, but you see, anybody reading that who's gone through anything like you will feel exactly the same. They'll go, that's it, he's got it. And you see, people who have not been through it can't write that because they don't feel that. You've got it, and you can express it. and other people will identify with it, and they know where that anger comes from because they feel that anger too. And who wouldn't after somebody's misused them like that? You've been through the mill, man, but you deserve the stuff that comes after all of that. The good stuff, the cream, the happy, the forget it all and I'm just going to do this today feelings, you know? It doesn't all have to be about yesterday. It's about tomorrow. That's what it's all about, you know?
Yeah, and learning that you're worthy and stuff, like you say, with the counsellor, with yourself. I mean, you really, don't take this the wrong way, you really angered me on one of the calls we had because you said, about the way I loved him. And I'm thinking, if I could get up there now, I'd slap you one. And then now, looking back a few years later, and it's something like, I realised what you meant, because it was like, I didn't love him, I hated him. But part of me, that's the reason I went back, because it was a confidence thing that he put in me, and he told me he loved me, and it's learning what people have said. I mean, somebody at work once, when I was talking about, because I'm lucky, I'm very open, one of the women there was on about, like, when he raped me. I said he didn't rape me. And she went, well, yeah, he did, because you were a kid. I said, yeah, but it's not what I would think of as rape. Because, you know, I imagine rape as being dragged in a dark alley, forced against your will, where with, like, obviously with coercion, grooming, which I hate the word, it's the confidence that they get over you and the hold they have over you, and it's just, it destroys you sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you look back and you think, I hated, I've never said this to me before, but my proper name's Martin, which I'm not bothered if people know or not. I hated Martin. And that's why I became Milty. It was easy to be somebody else.
Yeah, I get
and it was like, it happened to somebody else. It happened to this weak little kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand. I wanted nothing to do with. Hated him. Yeah. And then you learn. You look back, you're thinking, well, actually, I never told my parents. I never told my family. I never told anyone. How strong was that little Martin to actually cope with what he'd been through without...
Absolutely. Without going crazy, without ending it. No, I get it. But you're in a much better place now, Milky. Congratulations.
Well, like you say, it's weird that it started with me singing about all seasons floating broads, isn't it? And
it always ends up where your heart truly means, and that's where the pain still is. But you're getting there, man. You're getting there. Just remember, it doesn't always have to be about yesterday, man. You've got to turn it around so that now that you're realising that you're valuable, you're important, that you're as worthy as anybody, go out and grab a hold of life and don't waste any more worrying about stuff you can't change. It's the stuff you can change you can deal with now.
Yeah, that's, like I say, I mean, I'm in between therapy at the moment. I'm due to go back to do EMDR to help me actually deal with it. Because it is the anger and the rage, and I can never get the big question I always wondered was why. I can never get it, and it's just you basically got to put. Basically, there's a thing called the F it and chuck it bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You got to put it in there and go wrong place, wrong time. It could have been anyone.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Exactly, Milky. I must take a move, but thank you very much for coming on. Keep in touch, man. Stay well.
Yeah, and thank you very much for starting me off on the process, mate, as well, yeah?
No worries, my honour, thank you. 01914 883 188. We're back after this.
What, behind you?
Yeah, I heard something.
Any sign of anything?
I don't know, it's too dark. It just sounded like a stone dropping. How weird. Hopefully that's caught.
Right down there?
Yeah, behind me.
Behind him.
Hopefully it picked up on the mic.
Somebody just moved up the white.
What?
Like the white. Oh, there. All of a sudden I was saying there's no orbs. And then I just like a couple of just went upwards past here on the night vision.
Right. There's something here then. Come on then. Don't mess with us. Share stuff with us. What have you got? It's so quiet in here. Isn't it weird? Because outside, you know there's stuff in those woods.
Yeah.
You can feel the stuff in those woods. But Tony's had something, and that's not like Tony to notice something.
Yeah, I just noticed something drop behind us, and there's nothing above.
Well, there's nothing to drop though, is there? No. It's a wood ceiling.
It's a stone floor.
Come on. If there is anything here, join with us. We're here with love and respect for anything that's here. If there's any energy floating around, especially if you're that young lady who lost her life. Was that you, Tony?
No, I'm still.
I've just heard something moving directly beneath me. I thought it was you on the wooden floor. Did you hear that?
I heard a noise.
Like a dragging noise?
Yeah.
Hard to believe that people would fire bows and arrows outside these windows. It was Gwen.
That's weird. Again, right at the start, it went off.
Yeah.
If you're here, light the balls up.
Just like touch the ball, make it flash.
I hear scraping a lot.
Yeah.
Are you hearing any?
Yeah.
If there's anyone here, come on, share with us. Make any kind of noise. We'd love you to join us any which way you can. I think we'll head up. Let's go even higher.
What about the neck row here?
If I can get any kind of signal, can you want to hold this? It's my ever dimming light thing. Yeah, try the necromancer. Just don't know whether we'll get any service here is the thing. We'll try. Right, here we go. Don't want to press the wrong button. Not after the WhatsApp.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls. The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest hits radio.
Now, I must admit, we've had superheroes on this show. Literally, we've had actors that have played superheroes in movies across the world. However, there's nothing like a true superhero, especially one who's just sitting there eating an Indian meal. Charlie is with us in Sunderland. Hiya, Charlie.
Evening, Alan. How's it going?
It's going well. Well, first of all, congratulations to you. Not
Thanks,
just
mate.
because I'm jealous as hell because you've had a lovely Indian meal tonight, because I could have murdered one. However, you're sitting in Goa, the Indian restaurant. What happened?
Yeah, so went out with some friends for a friend's birthday meal.
Right.
Sitting down, literally ordered our first pint. I had my back to some tables, and my friend sitting opposite looked over and he was like nodding towards the tables as if there was something going on.
Yeah.
So initially, I heard of commotion. Initially thought it was an altercation going on, or something like that. That was all in a split second. But then things took a little bit of a drastic turn when I heard a woman scream for someone to come and help. At that point, I knew something was wrong, so I stood up. I looked over, and there was about, I'd say, 4 or 5 people around the table, and there was 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen sitting on the table having a meal, and one of the ladies was frantically patting the back of her friend, but screaming for help. It became evident she was choking.
Right.
But no one was doing anything.
Right.
So I did. I went and done something. So
Dun. Off came the clothes. The superhero suit emerges.
Yeah, I put my cape on.
Good man.
No, I literally went over, just introduced myself. I just said, look, my name's Charlie, I'm first aid trained.
Right.
At which point, about 3 or 4 people moved out of the way, and I just leant down to the lady, and I said, look, and when I looked at Alan, her face, she was like tears streaming down her face, visibly red. It was getting worse.
Yeah.
Her friend was like hysterically crying, so concerned about her, as you would be.
Yeah.
I just said, look, I know you can't talk. I said, my name's Charlie, I'm first aid trained. I said, just nod or shake your head. Can you breathe? She shook her head. I said, right, I need you to stand up for me. And as I stood her up, I explained what I was about to do. I noticed that the pattern on the back hadn't worked, so I went straight for the abdominal thrust or the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah.
As some people might know it. So I explained what I was doing, to keep her comfortable because, I'm a 6'2" guy, big lad. It's scary, you know what I mean? Especially when you don't know someone.
Yeah.
So I just explained that. I took my arms around. I'm going to do it. On the count of 3, I'm going to squeeze, all right? I need you to work with us. Counted 3, performed the first one, repeated that step 3 times, and on the 3rd time, you heard the lady take that gasp of air, and it was the most relieving feeling.
Fantastic.
But I also, I recognised that the whole restaurant was looking, so I knew she'd be embarrassed, bless her. So I literally just sat her down and went back to my table. Didn't know what else to do. And do you know what? At the time, I thought nothing of it. But what's happened in the last 10 days off the back of it has been absolutely immense. The messages from people, the comments, on social media. I think the Chronicle and the Echo put an article on as well.
They've all featured it. Fantastic.
And, absolutely amazing, mate. So a few positives. One, obviously, the lady's life was saved, and she's here. Because the reality is, and this was one of the comments that stays with me on one of the social media ones, one that really hit, was a lady said, "Well done, Charlie. You may not realise, the depth of your actions there, but the reality is, a family could have been in mourning today for a loved one if it hadn't have been for yourself." I didn't really understand the gravity of what I did. All of that, Alan, happened in 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah. But you see, what I've found in life, loads of people see stuff like that and they all go, somebody's going to do something. But nobody does anything. You've got to be the guy on the spot or the lady on the spot who does it, and you played a blinder. So congratulations, man. Well done,
I
you.
appreciate that. And obviously, I think one of the things is people either fight or flight, don't they? And it's not for everybody. And do you know what? 10 years ago, it probably wouldn't have been me.
Yeah.
But I think, my work played a massive part in it. They trained me in first aid.
Yeah.
I'm a manager on site, so leadership thinking definitely enabled me to do that. So one thing off the back of this, I've been speaking with the British Red Cross, is campaigning for anybody that feels like they could benefit from first aid training, go and get it. Because that could be you, it could be a family member, your friend, and it can really make the difference.
Well, you are indeed that superhero, Charlie. Great hearing from you. Thank you for coming on, man.
All right, nice one. Cheers, mate.
Well done, man. How good is that? Tell you, to be the person that steps forward doesn't have to take a bit of bottle. Let's have a superstar coming out at night from the Cranberries. Dolores O'Riordan, bless her, no longer with us, talking about some of her worst moments. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to the Dolores body? I want accidents, operations, screaming pain and agony. What's the worst you've suffered?
I won one surgery, and that was I think it was 90. The year I got married, I had 4 metal rods and a fiberglass ligament stuck into my knee. I went skiing, and day 2, Paddy fell down the slope. It's like, I don't think skiing and Irish people go hand in hand. I think I'll stick to something safer.
It always sounds cool when other people do it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like all the German people make it look so easy, and the French people, you'd see these little toddlers flying past you, and you're there like some kind of a goof, falling down. Hey, kiddo, how do you do that? And you feel so bad. It's like, so I'm never against skiing anyway, but, I do a bit of snowmobiling because you just have to sit in your butt and start
easy.
the machine, and that's grand.
That's quite James Bond as well, that's all right.
That's totally, it looks cool as well, yeah.
It does, for sure.
Don't ask. Is there anybody with us tonight? Please talk to us. Is there anyone here who worked in this tower? Who lived here? There's a woman's voice in there. Did you hear her? Are any of you Cresswells? She can't. Want to talk to a Cresswell?
Yeah.
Is there anyone in here with us now? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? You hear a knock? Is that you, Tony?
No, it sounded like it was below, down the stairs.
Downstairs? Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. Just heard the noise of somebody scraping something. Like dragging a foot along the floor. What's your opinion of Reavers? Did you fight Reavers? Yes. Wow. There's a cool snap up this.
Yeah, just here.
Yeah. I still don't understand. Oh, let's just stop that for a moment. I think I've stopped it.
It's still going.
Still going. Right. Let's try and make it. Let's climb upstairs. Can I have that little torch? Just otherwise I know, I think I must be running down. A big metal gate that they've secured house bells. Gotta be a bit careful. Oh. Oh. Yeah. I'm now up on the castle walls looking out. I know during the day you can see way over the tops of the houses, bats flying beneath me now. Kenny, I'm going to need your torch up here as well. During the day you can see way out to sea up here. Need your torch, Kenny? And he's got the big, super powerful torch. He's just coming up. There's the tower where she would have been. That's where she would have stood. You imagine just touching the place, the steps where she walked. Yeah, you're living that history of a tragic love story right here. Now, don't forget, share, please, as much as you possibly can. Get it out to everybody that you know so that we can grow and travel even further, looking for cool places. We've had the odd knock. We've had a little bit of activity. Kenny, can you come up? We need your torch, mate. Need your torch. No, your torch. Your torch. Oh, bats flying directly beneath us. And the big torch, yeah. Just see that it kind of, it might have been a reflection of your light, but just down the bottom, I saw just a hint of, and I know Kenny's not there, just a hint of light. Almost like a moving orb. Slightly bigger than an orb. Watch your step, Kenny. Kenny in those stairs isn't a recipe for disaster. I don't know what is. But we need that torch to light things up. Quick as you can, Ken. Watch your step. It's just you've got the superpower. Have you got them both now? Just one, okay. Just watch your step. It's really dangerous. Oh, you've got the camera as well. Careful, man. Got it. And wow. Beyond the houses is where the sea is. You can't see the sea, but if you are looking during the day, the land and the fields go along so far. Then there's the sea wall, and over the sea wall. Amazing. And what's behind us? The tangled, knotted river woodland that we're going to be going into next. God, that does not look spooky, doesn't it? That is. That's where we're heading next. Yeah, we're going in there next, Ken.
That would.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's where she was there. Poor soul. I'll give you the torch back. Can you just be careful on your way down, right, and forget the night vision camera on the way down,
right? Because
really you've got to be a bit careful down there.
Not look at the night vision.
No, I would not, for sure.
Right, one step at a time.
Yeah, I think so. Do you want me to take one of them so you can hold on to something?
Yeah, all right.
You sure?
Yeah. You all right?
Yeah, I'll manage. Yeah, I'll manage.
Head on that.
Yeah, no, it caught me the first time I came up. You walk down these narrow staircases. Imagine with a spear and a shield and a bow and arrow. Don't know how you'd manage that, but
no idea.
They are.
Tony gonna get the all right.
I'm just worried about me at the minute.
You see?
Yeah, I'm good. That's one.
He's done.
Yeah.
And these steps aren't great.
No. Let's get back into that. Grab my torch. I think my torch is here somewhere. Torch up here. Down the bottom, because this little piddly torch isn't doing it. I'm going to get my torch and check, see what that noise was. You know, we heard a bang. Don't worry about me, man. I'm fine. Just you wait for Tony. I will be heading that way. Yeah, I know where I'm here. Got it. Ow! Oh! Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. Oh, dear God. Oh, that was one of those, damn, ankle moments. Oh. Right. Oh.
Thanks, Georgina. Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thanks for joining us now. Time for your second clue. Each clue is a hit, a greatest hit. You've got to work out the name of the artist or artists. Clue number 1. What hounds usually see on a hunt? What hounds usually see on a hunt? Clue 2. Spiky horror classic. How well do you know your horror movies? spiky horror classic. Okay? Spiky horror classic. So the name of a spiky horror movie. 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come. Then see if you can work it out. The last clue, I think, will just about give it away. But see how bright you are. 2 clues down, more to come. And more importantly, let's get as many of you on air as we can. We've been talking about animal attacks. We had a whole heap of those lined up for you. And one of them involved a wee worm.
There was one particular day, I remembered, I had no gloves on and no tissue to hand, but there was a big bloody worm, real bloody, red, you know?
Right.
And I picked it up and put it on the soil, but it was enormous.
Right.
Thought nothing of it, went to my little part-time job, usually washed my hands straight away, but couldn't remember if I did. And I must have touched my mouth. Now then, I don't know how long after, I went to the toilet and I stood up, and you do always stand, put yourself right, look in the bowl.
Yeah.
And there at the bottom of the bowl was an enormous worm. Had weeded out.
You'd weed a worm?
It was about 9 inches long.
Oh, what?
And it had no blood in it. And it was moving.
So it was still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine? I was just, oh, my God, I didn't know what to do.
So but this didn't come out your bum, this come out your little wee aperture, so to speak. So
I didn't feel it come up my bottom. I had a wee.
You had a wee, and I understand. Unless it would just happen to be looking out your bum and gravity took it. I suppose there's always that, but we presume it was in your bladder and you peed it out.
Yes.
9 inches long.
It was about 9 inches long.
How about that? Worms. And that was just because she picked a worm up, and it was on her fingers, whatever it was, and she swallowed something, presumably worm eggs, worm larvae. Scary thought, isn't it? 0191 488 3188. We're talking about creatures and when they attack and fight back. Tina in Portsmouth knows all about that. Hiya, Tina.
Hello, Alan. Good evening.
Hello, welcome to you. Thanks for coming on. So what's happened to you then in the world of the critter?
Well, so we're talking about 20 years ago now.
Right.
I owned a pub. Been running it for quite a few years, and we'd had a customer who used to bring their dog in because we allowed dogs in the pub. I've always had dogs all my life.
Yeah.
Never got a problem with any dog whatsoever. Got a problem with their owners sometimes, but not the dogs.
Right.
They brought this dog in. It got to the age of 2. It was a Japanese Akita.
Oh, they're big. They're big things.
Very big, beautiful dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Named it Tyson for a reason.
Right.
My son come by to ask a question, and as he walked by the dog, it just went for him. No bark, no noise. The owner pulled the dog away, and of course he took my son's side of his face off, literally.
Whoa.
So he had 150 stitches. I was a little bit torn. You love your child, of course you do, but I love animals as well. I always blame the owners. I don't blame the animals. But it went to court because the police decided it was so severe.
Sure.
That it would have to go on a dangerous dog list.
How old was the Ben?
He was 8 at the time.
Oh, my goodness. 150 stitches on your
yeah,
little face?
We had a dog at the time as well, so it was a case of he couldn't live in the pub anymore after it happened.
Right.
He couldn't literally walk through the pub doors. He had to have counselling. Well, he wasn't the only one. There was quite a few of us had to have counselling because to actually witness something like that is horrendous.
Petrifying.
It went to court, and at the court they started showing pictures of when he went in surgery. Well, of course, I hadn't seen them pictures.
Not
the
pretty.
judge wasn't aware I was sitting in the courtroom, and it was frightening.
Oh,
very frightening.
but it was like a horror film.
It was, and he has recovered. The only dogs he doesn't like is the Japanese Akitas. He just freezes when he sees them. We told him, for his benefit, that the dog had been put on a farm somewhere where it couldn't hurt anybody else, because we didn't want him to think he was the reason the dog was put to sleep.
Right.
And, I think that is the best way to deal with it. We had to stop dogs coming into the pub, which was horrendous, because, we were known to allow people to bring their pets in. And, and it was such a shame. Eventually, we did manage to get him back in the pub, and we did manage to get dogs back in the pub and everything, because I've never wanted him scarred for life just because of one dog. And it wasn't the dog's fault. In court, we found out that the people had been smacking this dog around the face with a chicken, the fresh chicken, to try and get it to attack the chicken.
What?
Say, always the owners, not the pets. Not the pets.
What? For what reason? So it chases every chicken to kill it? What?
Just antagonising the dog, isn't it? I mean, it didn't stop there. Once the court case was over and everything, the family only lived a couple of doors down from the pub, and we went through hell with them. We really did. They were absolutely awful. Stand in front of the car when you're trying to drive off, things like that. And there was no malice towards the family or anything. It's just sad that it happened, but once the dog's attacked, it'll attack again.
No, absolutely.
So yeah.
Only ever come across an Akita, and we were doing a show, and we were driving around doing like little ghostly stories around the place, and I said, I'm in. I think it may have been Towlow, but I said, I'm in this place. Is there anybody nearby? And I'll pop in and I'll see you. And they said, come over to see us. And as soon as I walked through the door, this dog leapt up at me. And when somebody pins you in a corner and puts their arms on the wall so you're in between?
Yeah.
I was staring at this big white thing that was on its hind legs. It was a good 8 inches taller than I was. Yeah. They're huge animals. And I know we've heard it's always the owner, and it is usually pretty much always the owner who they do ridiculous and stupid things with it. And somebody else always pays the price, it seems.
I know.
But I've always wondered about certain breeds of dogs, whether they're more susceptible to be violent. And I know pretty much every dog owner says, no, they're not. But it tends to be the same 5 or 6 types of dog that does 90-odd% of the damage out there. And I know they're beautiful animals, but blame me, you can't put a price on 150 stitches on an 8-year-old's face.
I mean, the NHS were absolutely marvellous.
Yeah.
He has a beard now, but you can still see a couple of the scars.
Sure.
But honestly, Japanese Akitas, they do not bark. They are bred, or they used to be bred as fighting dogs to fight the bears.
Yeah.
So they sneak up, and they won't give you any warning. But this dog had been coming to this pub for 2 years from a puppy, and we never had a problem with it. It's just a shame that the owners were starting to do these silly things with it, and something just snapped inside of it, because my son literally just walked by.
I've always thought, though, because we used to be able to buy a thing called a dog license back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's you need a license for the owners more than you need a license for the dogs. I think.
Totally. I totally agree. I mean, I've got 2 border collies now.
Yeah.
I've rescued them. I've rescued dogs all my life, and one of them is a grumpy old bit. He really is. But I know his limitations, and I will not let people get close to him, because he doesn't like it.
Right.
And they need to know that. So if somebody comes over, I say, can you stay away from him? Because he's grumpy. And I don't know. I don't think he would ever attack, but I'm not going to give him that chance.
Sure.
No,
it's just every now and then, and people have said to me many, many times that dogs and children don't work.
No.
And yet I know hundreds of my own friends that have got young children or babies and a dog. And probably 90-odd% of them will be fine. But for the percentage that are not fine, that's worrying, because every parent says, I always watch them. Well, you don't when you're in the house. You just don't.
Split second.
Yeah.
And children are at the level, especially young ones, are at the level of a dog's face.
Yeah.
You know, why would you allow a child to put its face near a dog? It might be having an off day. It might be the best dog in the world and having an off day. Could have a bad paw, could have a pain, and the dog will attack.
Well, I saw a child do that. Yeah, little child, about 3-year-old, stamped on a dog's bits. I mean, just walking by, stamping on the floor, stamped on a paw in an unpleasant part of the animal. The dog squealed and ran away. If that had been a bigger dog,
I know.
Done by thinking
why
of
would
it.
you do it? So on another note, Alan,
Yes, love.
obviously I was listening to that lady's story about her sister with cancer, bless her.
Awful.
I do end-of-life care. Most of my people are people with cancer, bless them. You know, and if I could give her any word of comfort, I would say to her, yes, it's horrible to see somebody in pain. It's horrible to see them the way they are, and I understand why she's pulling back about going and seeing her. But when these people have passed, the peacefulness on their face speaks 1,000 words. It really does. You know, I mean, people say, "Oh, how do you do it? How can you do end of life?" And especially with people who are in so much pain. But it's like yourself. I'm a spiritualist and everything. And actually, my brother gave you a photo of my candle the other week with a heart in it.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was my candle.
Wow, that was tremendous.
You know, and they're in a far better place. They're out of pain. And if I can give her one word of comfort, that's what I would say to her.
Well done. Thank you very much, Tina. I appreciate it. You're a long way away, but we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
But I'm still a Geordie.
Yay! Always. Thanks again. Take care.
Yeah, and you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. There's Tina. And it's this thing about Geordies, and before any Mackhams start complaining, or Smoggies, or Pitmatics, or whatever other tribe you belong to, when you're not in the northeast, even if you're not exactly a Geordie, I'm sure she is, but you're a Geordie because you feel northeastern, and the ever-loving arms of the northeast surround you for the rest of your life, because it's that kind of place. 0191 4883 188. People from other places don't understand that, but we get it. Trevor is next in Gateshead. Hello, Trevor.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Blimey, totally different this week than last week. The whole Newcastle United thing.
And I'm buzzing, but wait there, right? Because I've been listening to your callers and that recently. Something sprung up about creepy crawlies before I started with the takeover.
Yeah, of course, dive in.
Like, me mate were doing the garden maintenance about 6 years ago.
Right.
And then my pal, he's an ex-bouncer. He doesn't do that no more, but
right.
he started doing the landscaping with me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I mean, he's really scared of like spiders and stuff like that.
Right.
Right? And I used to play pranks on him and stuff. But anyways, we're doing this garden one day, and he like jumped away from us, and I was like, "Smile, you like?" Know what I mean? He was just staring at me arm, right, Alan? And I looked down at my arm, and I swear down, mate, I was just caterpillar, right? But it was like 5 inches long and about an inch thick.
Oh wow!
And I swear to God, it had eyeballs on it, like one of them giant hornets.
Right. Oh, right.
Right? And it was, and I like went, "Whoa!" You know what I mean? And I like flipped it on the floor, right? And honest knee word of it, like, it was like 5 inches long, with big, massive, googly eyes, and it was just sitting there, right? And it was like just not rocking its head from side to side. And I've still got the video on my phone because I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a head banging caterpillar here. We might as well take a picture of it.
Wait, I can't remember what the name of it was, mate, but it was just something moth. You know, like some sort of moth, like a
Death's head.
A larvae thing. That's it.
Death's head moth. Because they're the big. It hasn't got big googly eyes because the things that you thought were eyes are actually markings, but they look like big googly eyes.
Oh, it had a mouth through and everything, mate.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
It was like an luminous dark green with like black stripes on it.
Amazing looking things, but that's what it is, a death's head moth caterpillar.
That's what it was, a death's head, because I couldn't remember he had said it there, but I massive. Like, wait, can you imagine the size of what that woman grew into?
A small kite.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, but honest, but it was like rocking his. The look on me mate's face. I mean, he's not a soft lad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the matter with you and that? And I dropped me bait. You know what I mean? To be fair, it was naughty, man. Honestly, man. Yeah, dude.
So come on, tell us about what's your feelings about the whole Newcastle Habnab. The world has changed in the last 7 days.
Right, now it is. We're not gonna be straight into the top 6. It's going to take 6, 7, 8 years. You know what I mean, mate?
Well, I mean,
so I'm not a deluded Geordie, mate. And there's plenty of them out there, right?
Yeah.
And they think we're gonna go out and buy this one, that one. We can't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're only allowed to spend about 200 million over a couple of seasons. But as long as we make the right signings, and people, mate, I can feel the good times coming back now, you know, and you know what it is, right? I hate Mike Ashley, I've slated him, but at least he's left where we need that.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I think Steve Bruce is a crap manager, as I've always said. But now, right, to be fair, it's only because of the hand he's been dealt off Ashley. But there's no way you can let Steve Bruce take us forward when we're this wealthy now, like you were laughing at before, you know what I mean?
But who do you give it to, though? Who do you put the reins? Because there's been talk about Rafa.
I want Conte, me.
Right. Do you think he'll take it?
Nah.
I don't think he'll take it either. They're talking about Conte and Mancini and that kind of person, but would it not be better to get a homegrown one? Southgate, Eddie Howe?
Aye, mate, yeah. Like, we've got money now, man. I mean, was Graham Jones is supposed to be taking charge, isn't he? Before,
that's right. Yeah, for the next year, Tottenham.
Week.
Yeah.
I mean, should we give him a gun, you know? Should we give him a go and see what happens till January before making any decisions?
Well, there's that. It's just you get the feeling that the club, because what they've said is we're not going to make any rash decisions until we see how the whole club runs. So they're going to take a look at everything in every department and see what needs to be changed, which is the right thing to do if you're a brand new buyer, I suppose.
Definitely.
But they're going to. I know they were talking about Rafa before Rafa signed up for Everton. I don't think Rafa would. I don't think Rafa would leave Everton, and it's a honourable thing to stay with the club you've signed for that took you on. I just don't think he's the sort that would dump him and move back.
You know, it would be funny though. He's a red, isn't he? And imagine he had a clause in his contract. I think I said this to you last week before we got took over. Can you imagine if you had a clause in his contract to see if Newcastle get took over, even if he's only been there, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but it's what I think most of the Newcastle fans would have been very happy with. I'm sure that's the case.
No, but like I see, I would like Conte, but I don't think he'll come here.
Yeah, some people are talking Steve Gerrard as well, who's done wonders up there at Rangers. But
would you be happy with him, like?
I'm not sure. Yeah, but the thing is, Newcastle as a club has had some awful managers, and it's had
make the right choice.
You can't mess around when you've got the kind of backing behind you that this lot have. So I think it's going to have to be a very carefully selected individual rather than just pot.
Whoever they bring in, it's got to be like for the long term, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's
right.
What
I mean?
Nah, for sure.
No?
Absolutely, for sure.
Graham Southgate was saying we've got his assurances that Graham Jones will be a good job, do a good job for us, like, mate, you know.
Yeah, and I know Gareth Southgate's going to want an exit plan, but I would have thought he'll still stay there till the next World Cup.
Oh, I definitely, yeah.
So it's a few years away.
I would have thought so. I mean, I didn't want Southgate personally, mate, but I want somebody who's like known for winning things, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it, but it's going to be an interesting ride though the next few years.
Well, exactly. We've still got the same players till January, mate. So we've got to get somebody that can motivate them, and then we'll see
what happens.
Steve Bruce was bad or not.
Right, well, I suppose that's a fair way of looking at it. Hey, good to hear from you, Trev. Thanks for coming on, man. Nice, bye-bye. And yes, Catherine, she's in Winlayton. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Anna, you all right?
I'm very well. I hope you are too. What you got for us all? Good.
Well, you're on about critters. Forget about your lions and tigers and bears. For me, it's spiders, wasps and bees.
Right. So what's the worst thing that's happened to you with any of them then?
Well, when I was younger, you would guarantee, my mum always said, like, when I was younger, I got stung by a bee.
Right.
I got stung by a bee. But apart from that, my cousin, she had a hamster, right?
Right.
We thought it was a boy until one day I looked into the cage and she had babies.
Oh, right.
So we gave a few of the babies away and she kept one. And then we kept feeding them and watering them. And then one day I went, the hamster had only bit the baby's head off.
I've heard that hamsters do that, and I know they've got those big kind of teeth thing, the two big fangs, haven't they? Hamsters. Yeah. But it bit the head off the baby hamster.
Oh, I was traumatised. Absolutely traumatised.
Blimey, I bet.
It was just crazy.
So how do hamsters in the wild raise their little ones then?
Exactly.
That's weird. And I know they're probably desert creatures, I'm guessing. I don't know where hamsters live naturally. I'm imagining sand somewhere. But so they have the babies, and then the babies are on their own. The mother doesn't breastfeed them or, normal mammal kind of behaviour.
Well, they mustn't. No, they mustn't. From what I've experienced, no, they mustn't.
That is awful. So then you've got to go in and remove the rest of the dead baby hamster. Ugh.
Oh, it was traumatising when I went in the cage and my life.
No, I bet that's not a pretty thing to wake up to, that's for
No,
sure.
no.
Right, oh, blimey, what a story. Anything else then, Catherine?
No, that's all, thank you, Alan.
Lovely, thanks for coming on. Take it easy, bye-bye. And James from Wolverhampton's on about, I think it's footballing matters. Hello, James.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm all right. What's your view on it from Woolly Wolverhampton?
Well, my theory is from Wolverhampton. I think it's a good thing that Mike Ashley's gone.
Right.
Because at least we should get some money for some players now. At least we'll have some owners that will put their hand in their pockets for some money to give money for the club.
Right. Now, I must say, I really rate the manager that's gone to Tottenham from Wolverhampton Wanderers. I thought he did a great job for Wolves. And I'm stunned at how badly sections of the Tottenham crowd seem to be feeling about it. I don't think they get him at all. And I thought he'd be a great manager for any club that took him on because he really built Wolves into something, didn't he?
Yes, but we're talking about the wrong thing, Alan. I'm talking about Newcastle United.
I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah,
I was just talking about Wolves as a reciprocation. But as a Newcastle fan, then, who should they get to manage the damn club?
Who should we get? Well, there's only one person that I'd like to see manage the club, and that you know who that is, Kevin, Alan. Kevin Keegan. I think Kevin should manage the club.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer. I mean, there's talk of the manager getting going anyway now, isn't there, from Newcastle?
Well, he's been taken out. It's the assistant manager that's sitting in for the Tottenham game. So Steve Bruce has effectively gone now.
Yes, but yes, I say bring back Kevin. Newcastle United would be a great team if Kevin comes back. It really, really would. I've got a lot of respect for Kevin, and if Kevin's listening, then I have got an awful lot of respect for Kevin because he took him almost to the top of the Premier. Well, he took him to the top of the Premiership in 1992-93, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. He really did a good job, and the fans absolutely love him. The fans absolutely love him, and I love him as well.
But he's been free of all of the pressure. And he's a wealthy individual. He's done brilliantly well in his career. He's in a situation where, does he need all of that pressure? Because anybody that takes on the Newcastle job is going to be under a massive world microscope, aren't they?
Yes. Well, have you been to a Newcastle game at all, Alan? Since
Yeah,
Kevin left?
well, yes, I have.
Did you see the face of the fans once Kevin had gone?
No,
Did
well,
you see the face? Well, the face of the fans.
No,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I worked with Kevin at St James's Park during the time that Newcastle were known as the Entertainers, and everybody loves Kev. Of course, he's super Kev, for heaven's sake. Everybody loves him. It's just, does he want to? He can either live a perfectly good life as he's doing now with his family, or do you get back into the mud-slinging, high-pressure, every day you're under scrutiny kind of lifestyle? And that's for Kevin to decide, really. I'm sure he could throw his name into the hat if he's up for it, and I think people would listen to Kev, definitely.
Yes, people would definitely listen to Kevin. I mean, it was a disgrace of the way. Well, it wasn't not a disgrace, but it was appalling the way he went. Because Mike Ashley was just. He had the money, but he wouldn't put his hand in his pocket, and that's sort of made Newcastle for what they are now. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. It's sort of.
It's football. That's kind of the normal for football. But you reckon Kevin's the man?
Yes, I reckon Kevin's the man. And would you pass that? Would you pass that to whoever has the decision for that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to do that. James, thank you very much for your view. Anyway,
okay, thank you, Alan.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. It's Kev. He wants Kev in the job. And I think he would do a great job because he loves the club and he's black and white through to the core. And a bit red. He's a bit Liverpool too. 01914 488. I just announced Southampton, it has to be said. 01914 488 3188. But so is Alan Shearer, if you think about it. Not so much red, but a bit Southampton. Anyway, Brian's with us. He's a bit Blackburn. Brian is with us from Gateshead. We're talking about critters. Hello, Brian.
Yeah, hi, Alan. When me and my two sisters were younger, we had rabbits.
Oh, right.
Ruby and Roger, the two rabbits that we had. And they had babies, and my sister handled the babies when they were in the nest.
Right.
And the next day, we came to put some water in the cage, and we looked, and all the babies had been eaten by the mother.
Oh,
And they do say that if you touch any critters that are born, like the babies of rabbits or hamsters and that, they get
the human smell
on
them.
the animals.
Right.
Yeah, it actually attacks them and kills them. It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Oh, so all of these people that say, oh, look at the lovely baby, and then let's stroke the baby rabbit, they're killing the rabbit by doing that.
Yeah, the rabbit ends up eating them. Oh, it's horrible and gross because I actually remember the rabbit had blood all over his face, or a ruby.
And there was a film years ago. It was one of the Monty Python films. I think it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where he goes to face the dragon. And when you get to because the knights are the round table kind of thing, and when the pythons got to the cavern, it was a killer white rabbit. It wasn't a dragon, it was just this rabbit that leapt at your throat and chowed at it. Sounds like that's the kind of rabbit that you had in your place, with blood round its mouth, waiting for its next victim. Blimey.
When my dad went mad, he said, you're not supposed to touch the youngsters in the nest. You're supposed to leave them alone.
Yeah.
So that was quite horrible. I mean, but you're
what
not supposed to touch them anyway. Just before I go on, my partner, she's into Christian rock music. Do you know much about it, do you? Like a couple of bands that I actually listened to was a band called Sweet and Lynch.
Yes.
They're really good.
Yes.
Skeller, there's another one. And there's another one called Red. And they really are brilliant. It's like heavy rock with the guitars without all the satanic stuff. So they're more like rock music that's...
Yeah, no, it's kind of clean living rock is what it's all about. There used to be a slightly harder rock band, a bit of a Christian Bon Jovi of the day, a band called Striper, who were a massive hit Christian rock band. about 15 to 20 years ago. They made about 8 or 10 albums. Might be something worth for her to have a look at. It's old school now in comparison to the newer acts, but interesting nonetheless. Might be worth a look.
And just before I go on, what do you think of Sam Fender's music? I think he's pretty good.
I think he's great. No, absolutely, and he's got the right kind of attitude as well. He's got a nice style of his own. Hey, it's good stuff. Good talking to you, Brian. Thanks for coming on, mate. Take it easy. 01914 883188. Let's have some more superstars coming out at night, because stars come out at night on the Night Owls. This time, says he, just knocking his nose on the microphone. Boof. Right. Boy George, Culture Club. Let's talk to him about life. I can remember you in the dark days, and there was the opportunity of doing an interview that I turned down because you were kind of, you weren't really human. you were just somewhere else, but you weren't where I was. That was for sure. And it's just wonderful because you're easier to like, easier to love when you're just you, and because you forget that yes. In your lifetime, you have been full of frills and the occasional gimmick, like anybody in the music business. And yet, when it boils down to you just being you, you're fascinating, you're interesting, you're talented, because you got it all together.
Yeah, I think some people spend their lives kind of trying to be something they're not. And I think the lucky ones grow into themselves. I suppose that's the best way to describe it. I think, I've kind of probably had my struggles with learning to be myself. And I think, I hope I've nailed it now. I'm 52. I think I'm there.
I think so too.
I always say, like the Dragons, I'm out. In terms of all the kind of negative stuff.
You'd love it. It is quiet in here, isn't it?
It's there. Nothing's happening.
Heard the REM pod.
Did you hear it?
I heard it.
I just had a quick look outside. Oh, kind of went over on my ankle there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My clumsiness, it wasn't anything spectral. I think we're going to have to leave this a little while. We'll go out and hit the woods, see what's there. Let's do that.
What's these steps?
No, well, these are the ones that are plummeted down. Oh, damn ankle. Be up like a pudding in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got them. Just didn't the last time. That was
Yeah, one step, then two steps.
Yeah. Got it. Right. We're out.
I've done exactly the same.
Are you all right?
On that last step, isn't it?
It's the last one's
It's that last one.
Yeah.
What's your journey? Could you forget that last one?
Go out, Ken. You getting anything over there? On the night vision? Or
You need-
is it off?
Need the extra battery in case it goes off.
Okay, mate.
Put it on.
It's for the battery. I'll shut this door
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's head in that direction. We're both walking wounded, aren't we?
It was that last step. The woods. What the hell was that?
What?
I heard something.
Something
But
smashed off the camera.
smashed off the camera.
Yeah.
What?
Is it on?
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. So something smashed off it. Like on the screen here.
What have you got? Anything?
I don't know if it got it or
I
not,
heard
because I think it
something.
hit the screen.
I heard like a clunk.
Do you think it's Elizabeth? What's her name?
We don't know her name.
The white lady.
The white lady. Which
No,
is...
I was going to call her Elizabeth for some reason.
With the night cam, it wouldn't have got on the. It wouldn't have recorded because they hit the screen.
Do you think it came off the roof?
Well,
I definitely heard it.
I cannot imagine where else it could have come from.
Well, we're on gravel. Was it gravel? There's a big snaily there. Is that what? Pottery.
Is that pottery? Like old pottery?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You think it was that was chucked at you?
Well, that's really old pottery. Look at the screen.
I don't know.
That's like something you would dig up on
a dig.
Digging up the past, all right. Well, what fun we had. Not when it hit the screen. That came from up there. It must have.
I don't know whether I just heard a
No,
noise.
hit the screen.
I couldn't put me.
This window open. That window's open. Was that open?
No, I didn't go that far in, or to the back.
That window's open.
You think it could have been thrown from in there?
That's what I can understand where it would come from. It hit the screen. It hit the camera.
Well, let's hope there's something on the screen when we look back at it.
You would definitely hear it.
I heard it and I wasn't near you.
That's the weirdest thing.
So we've just had something amazing. Share. Please. We doubled our shares last week. Let's treble and quadruple them this time round. Do you have voices there?
Yeah.
There's nobody there. I heard voices. Male voices, deep. But share. Now. No, well, yeah, go on then. Well, he's fallen, I've fallen. It's a night. And where are we heading next? Remember the last time we were here, we talked about how 2 Riva families had a big to-do here. I have subsequently discovered the name of the 2 Riva families and the full nasty, bloody story. Come with me and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Well, Kenny, nice and slow, Ken. In the land to the west of the tower. Now, I believe that is this area. Because if you look at the tower front on, the west is this area here. The land to the west of the tower. And it was said that a family called the Lales went off to try and get their cattle, some of their cattle back from a family called the Herons. And it was the Lales and the Herons. They were deadly enemies. It was a feud of the worst kind. And while the Herons...
Night Owls.
The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And it is a big thank you to William, Linda, Colin, Chris, Magda, Julie, Paul and Kenny, who all sent birthday cards in for me this week. So thank you very much to everybody that took the trouble. We appreciate it. And we are talking about many things. So let us dive straight in. Dave from Sunderland is up next. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you tonight?
Well, the French are whinging on about not getting paid the billions we've agreed to pay them to stop the immigrants coming over.
Yes.
I think they should pay them.
Right. But the whole idea of the government when the whole Brexit thing came was to stop paying Europe anything. I mean, that was the plan, wasn't it? So.
Well, it's not Europe, it's France. We're not paying the EU.
Right. Well, it was not just France. I mean, it was Belgium, because there were boats and immigrants were trying to get through. France had the biggest shared coastline, so it took the brunt of it, definitely. But so what should we do? Because we said we wanted nothing to do with them, you know. So now the French are saying to anybody passing through, don't stay here. On you go. You can't blame them, really, can you?
Well, I mean, I've got to provide. I don't think they should give it in a lump.
Right.
Should pay them weekly.
Right. Now, you see, now that actually makes sense, because then you're seeing whether they're doing what they promised to.
That, but for every illegal that gets here, take 200,000.
Right, but there's always going to be some that get through, in fairness.
Well,
but
let's face it, you're wanting a couple of billion to stop them.
Yeah.
And you take money off them for everyone that gets through. I think they try a bit harder.
Yeah, I can't deny that. It's just a lot of the things that we were told before Brexit, you know, like we're going to stop giving them money altogether, and they don't give any money to us and all the rest of it. That's been found to be a fraud, because all these charities had to close for all different kinds of really good causes. And now we're hearing that we're going to have a daily bill of 1.7 billion because we've got a space program that we can't operate unless we use the European Galileo system or program, and we can't build our own. So we either waste trillions or we then go back to Europe cap in hand and say, can you still let us? It's just, the whole thing's a mess, really. You can tell the way things are in general. You know, they don't want foreign workers in, so we'll have Brexit. As soon as Brexit happens, we're desperate to get foreign workers in now for the health service, for the haulage industry, for this, for that, the other. It's a bit of a pig's breakfast, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if you were on the door, sent you for a job, and if you didn't take the job, they stop your door.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. No, the thing that I don't understand is we've got a lot of people unemployed. We've got a ton of people unemployed. And you would have thought this is the great opportunity. You know, the foreign workers have, in effect, gone. So now's your moment. But everybody's saying, I'm not doing that job. I'm not picking fruit. I'm not working in a fish shop all hours of the day. Because these are the jobs that we had people from abroad coming in, you know, from poorer countries, in fairness, who were prepared to come in and say, oh, this is better money. I've got enough money here to live here comfortably and send a bit home for when my contract ends, and I'll go back home and I'll be able to buy a house. You know, so I kind of get it, but it is it's just an odd one. Where do we go from here is the question. What should we do? You say pay them weekly to protect immigration. What else should we do then?
Well, same as used to do when me and you, humans, if you didn't work, stop the door.
Right. Stop it. Right. So the fault is with unemployed people not being prepared to work and not being prepared to do the jobs that have been created by the Brexit, viewing Brexit as an opportunity. So it's not an opportunity they're taking on. So, but would any company want somebody that they've had to force to work there? That's the thing. You know, if I was hiring somebody and they said, well, he hasn't worked for 5 years, he hasn't wanted to, but they're going to stop his benefit unless he works for you. You're not going to get a good day's work out of that character, are you?
Well, look at egg sausages. They'll take people from the prison to fill jobs, they can't get employers.
But that's the situation we're in right now. The fruit pickers, similarly, there's nobody to do the gig. No, I hear what you say. Interesting. Thank you, Dave. Anything else while you're on?
Hi, the electric
bills going up.
Prices have gone through the roof.
Yes.
Is this happening in the rest of Europe?
Well, apparently, in some countries in Europe, there's an issue because when the EU negotiated with Putin, because Russia apparently have got the bulk of the added electricity, Europe did a deal with Putin, and Putin did it with 3 or 4 different countries independently. The ones that did a deal independent of the EU are now suffering because Putin says, we did a deal with you, but that deal's over now. If you want the extra electricity, you're going to have to pay us even more now, holding them to ransom. Britain, of course, came out of the EU, so they're not covered by the general EU agreement. So now Britain have got to pay the extra whatever he asks for, really. So Putin's rolling in it by the sound of things. He's played a blinder, but it's not being terribly helpful. There's 3 other countries in Europe that came out of that deal, and they are suffering the same as Britain at the moment. But other countries in Europe had this set deal, an offer that he gave to EU countries if they wanted it for a certain period of time, and they're covered by it apparently. But £2,000 a month, £2,000 a year to pay for your energy. We've never been in that kind of neck of the woods, unless you live in Buckingham Palace.
So all these prisoners who are going to be living in heated cells, 3 meals a day,
right?
And pensioners are not going to be able to afford to put the fire on.
Right.
See, the same with all these hotels that are housing illegal immigrants because they've just got the Scarborough for the same thing.
Right. So should prisoners have to work for their money then? For their...
Oh, definitely.
You reckon? That's another one to chase after. Okay, we will do. Dave, thank you very much for calling.
Hey, well done.
Good to hear you. There you go, Dave in Sunderland. Strong words. And if you're going to pay... You see, to me, I don't see a point in saying we're going to cut ourselves from the EU and then say, but we're going to do a deal with the EU for this, we're going to do the EU for that, we're going to do a deal with the EU. You're finding yourself giving them loads of money again. And will all of that add up to more than you were paying the first time round? Who the hell knows? Because even if we did, they'd not tell us, would they? 0191 488 3188. We have a third clue coming at you very soon, but let's talk to Cliff, who is in Gateshead tonight. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, Alan, mate.
Hiya. What you got for us?
I'm still in the QE, mate.
Oh, give over. What?
No.
Talk about a season ticket. Hell's teeth.
All right. Well, it's nicer in here than what it is in my bungalow. It's all heated for us. 3 meals a day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people running after your hand and foot, I bet.
Well, yeah, I've moved in, mate. I've moved in, I'm telling you.
So
I'm
what's
not back that dismal bungalow. I can't afford the heating bills up there.
Cheapers, I know. It's getting scary, man. But, I mean, have they given you any hint of an escape here? Or?
Well, I've been supposed to be escaping 6 times up to noon. They keep having a laugh, you know, and telling us I'm going home. And, you know, everybody's just laughing at us, you know. So
right.
I'm still here, mate.
Right. Oh, what a clock.
Anyway, I did escape once. I discharged myself, you know, 2 weeks ago.
All right.
And I gets just totally dark. So I gets in the house there. And I had some clears on a chair in front of the telly, like washing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was sorting them out. And I was looking in the telly. Like the screen at the same time, the telly wasn't on, you know.
Right.
So I seen a shadow standing at the back door, inside the back door.
In the reflection on the TV screen, right.
On the TV screen, aye. So I'm watching it, it's just standing there.
Right.
It's come through the back door. It's just standing there watching us. And I couldn't help that. Says, I'm watching you, you know, I can see you. And I turned me towards and it slipped straight in the scullery.
Wow.
With the road.
Right.
It's plain as day. I says, I seen you plain as day there, man. I said, I don't know what you are. You know?
Right.
But it took me notice, sort of, Anyway, that night, the physiotherapist had been and put one of these metal council beds in me house. Someone's a rise up and doing and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, they hadn't put the brake on, had they? They put it in the middle of the floor. So I can't sit doing it. They went shooting away across the bloody floor towards the bloody thing. So I end up also with tits against the wall. So I'm stuck there on the floor, like a cabbage again. Couldn't get up. Had to phone the fire brigade. Fire brigade come, got in the house because the keys were still in the front door.
Right.
The ambulance come, took us back to hospital.
Oh, what a...
So anyway, I'm lying in the hospital in the the room doing stairs before they take you upstairs.
Yes.
E&E. I'm lying there. There's no nose to know the boot. There's all buggered off at the top end somewhere and see to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm lying there, and I just turn my head, and there's a black figure standing inside the door in the hospital.
How weird is that?
Exactly the same black figure standing there.
Did you recognise it? I mean, is it the shape of anybody from your family, or...?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure,
Right.
Not sure. It kind of takes like a resemblance to my mother at times,
Right.
It's hard to see it.
Just why would a spirit follow you there unless it had some kind of personal connection with you?
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, but it's plain black. There's no features. I know
No,
that.
I understand. Yeah.
But moves like lightning,
Yeah. Those black, the black shadowed. I used to always call them black shadowed demons, which makes them sound very exciting. But the black stuff that moves really quick, yeah, it is hard to put a shape on them. You can't even tell. Is it male? Is it female? It's just a.
You cannot.
Just a thing. No.
I mean, see, I've seen them in the hotel before.
Right.
In Newcastle, I've had them in there, all over the place in there. Used to stand at the windows. People used to see them from outside.
Right.
And used to just stand looking at the windows and used to go with the walls and that and the lift shafts and everything.
Shapers.
Any dark place they could, they'd come out of,
Yeah.
Corners of buildings. When I was in the digs on Sheriff Hill, I had like a cupboard right in the corner of the room. And there's like an outside wall, like gable end wall,
Right.
So I kept seeing this door open in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big heavy door, a cupboard door, and I knew I used to shut it, So here I put some carrier bags full of papers in this neat on the floor. So they were like half filled with papers, leading up to the cupboard door and round the cupboard door and that. I left the cupboard door open. So here, halfway through the night, I heard something walking across the top of the carrier bags.
Whoa.
Right?
Brilliant.
But when it was going out, they went out the corner of the cupboard.
Right.
It seemed to come through the corners of buildings. I don't know why. That's like three-dimensional or something.
Well, unless maybe in a previous time there was a door there, maybe.
Maybe so, but it was bloody weird, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, tremendous story. Cliff, get the hell out of there first chance you get without doing a somersault to get you back in there again.
Well, the way they're gone with all these, what do you call it, charges and all that, these emissions charges and all that.
Yeah, you best
congestion charges in the ring. Might as well just stop in here. It's going to be £6 a day. They're right, there's a zone from Gosford all the way to Reckoning. If you use your car, it's going to be £6 a day.
I've heard, and that's just what a
how potty can they get?
What a world. Hey, Cliff, good catching up though. Stay well, man. Good luck to you. Thanks a lot. Oh, what a show. Can you imagine being in hospital that long? It's August, 0191 488 3188. Tons to talk about after this.
unvaccinated pregnant women. The NHS says they make up 17% of COVID patients who've needed treatment with a lung bypass machine since July. Joe Mountfield from the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists says while vaccine hesitancy among mums-to-be is understandable, the jabs are safe.
We have got increasing amount of data that tells us that it does not increase the risk of miscarriage, it does not increase the risk of stillbirth, and it does not increase the risk of prematurity.
From today, people in Wales need an NHS COVID pass to be able to legally attend big events or nightclubs. They're compulsory for over 18s and show people have either tested negative on a lateral flow test or are fully vaccinated. Travel between the UK and dozens of long-haul destinations such as Mexico and South Africa opens up from 4 o'clock this morning. 47 countries will be removed from the red list, meaning arrivals from there won't have to spend 11 nights in a quarantine hotel. Sean Tipton from Travel Association ABTA explains why this is happening now.
Basically because of the vaccine rollout, both here and in many other countries around the world, which means we'll be able to get back to a form of normality. Now, they have kept some countries on the red list, that's 7. Most of those are in South America, because they have said if there are COVID variants of concern, they need to keep an eye on that.
There have been at least 750 allegations of sexual misconduct against police officers across Britain over the last 5 years. It follows the announcement of an inquiry into failures that allowed Sarah Everard's killer to remain an officer despite allegations against him. A survey suggests more than a fifth of us admit that sugar's our biggest vice. Researchers also found more than a quarter of us think an addiction to sugary drinks has had a detrimental effect on our health, including tooth decay and weight gain. And Andy Murray's into the third round at Indian Wells. He beat the highly rated Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz. From Sky News, I'm Georgina Campbell.
Thank you, Georgina. So, Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast, the Night Owls, of course, and lots of stuff to talk about. But first, the third clue. Are you any nearer finding out who our greatest hits star happens to be in tonight's Who's It? Who is it? 4 clues, 4 songs, 4 greatest hits. What are the hits called and who made those hits? That's what we're looking for. Clue number 1 is what hounds usually see on a hunt. Okay, what hounds usually see on a hunt. Clue 2, a spiky horror movie classic. Clue 3, Will Smith as a child, perhaps. Will Smith as a child, perhaps. 3 clues, 1 more clue to come. You'll get that clue very, very soon. But we've been talking tonight about when critters attack. And blimey, you've been attacked a lot.
You know, the Quality Street tin, and he decided to offer the sweet, only there was none inside. He actually put a spider in it.
No, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I hope you hit him with a tin. And also, rabbits.
What went wrong with your parachute? Well, the parachute was perfectly okay. It was the biggest drop zone in Europe. We were dropped short of it, and I landed on a rabbit. So the rabbit was just looking up, and it just didn't get out the road. It was like the trapped in the headlights thing. There was 2 rabbits doing what rabbits do, and the next thing, wallop. Got the biggest jump in its life.
Wow, what about that? And what's the worst thing you can see down a toilet? Now, before you answer that, forget about what your dad used to do after he came back having a kebab in about 47 pints. What's the worst thing you could see down the toilet?
I was dying for a number 2, right? And I thought, oh, the hell with this. So I put 20 pence in, and there was a gang of, like, lasses and lads, you know, and I thought, what the hell are they laughing at?
Right.
So I thought, oh, the hell with it. I need to get in, like, and get it done, you know.
Sure.
And I was sitting down there and just, you know, just doing my bit, you know, and then all of a sudden I felt something, you know, and I thought, what the hell is this?
Right.
No, so I waited bloody back in, and then all of a sudden there was this massive tarantula in the bog.
What?
In the bog, right?
Actually, in the toilet that you're sitting on?
I couldn't wait to get out. I was doing my zip up. I nearly fell through the door, and these kids were laughing, screaming themselves, laughing.
They must have put it in there.
What are you laughing at? Oh, yeah, I gather you've met our toy spider.
Oh, it's just a toy. Oh. And there's other things you can find down a toilet that you don't normally expect.
Funny things down your Nessie. A kitten.
My mum went to the toilet in my house years ago.
Who ate the kitten?
No. She went into the toilet years ago and she shouted, Dawn, quick, fetch some towels. And I went, what's the matter? She says, one of your kittens is down the toilet. My cat had just had kittens not long. And we think one of them must have made its way to the bathroom. It was only, we were talking about it the other day at my mum's house. And I said, so did you actually wee on it? She says, you don't. I think I did. She says, because I didn't realise until after I'd had a wee. There was something down the toilet. It was like scratching to get out and it couldn't get out. Oh, so I had to put it on a towel in front of the fire. And I thought, well, I'm not giving it mouth to mouth. My mum said this, you can do it.
I think that's what you call a sour puss.
A sour puss, a stinky puss.
And we're not finishing there because we've had cuddly, we've had scary. Let's have something small that we all really dislike. Mosquitoes. Where were you bitten?
I was bitten on my ankles, on my legs, on my bum.
Oh, wow, plenty of room. Right.
On my arms,
on
my hand,
yeah,
on my face.
And was your boyfriend bitten anywhere?
He was, yes. In only one place, actually.
Is that the only place?
That was the only place to bitten.
And where was that place?
It was his third leg.
You're kidding.
No, the one in between.
Could you imagine how risky it was for that mosquito? And what a small target.
No, you don't understand. There was 3 bites.
3 bites? Oh, my goodness. 3 bites on his...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. But that slowed him down. This holiday.
And they turned into huge lumps, though.
Oh, did he show you?
No, he didn't show me.
I was going to say he's too gallant.
Because what I'd done was, because I didn't know what to do, so I phoned my mum. But my mum wasn't in.
Right.
So
you asked a neighbour, did you?
No, I left a message on the answering machine.
Oh, that's worth having. Oh, if you've still got that, missus, let's have that one. Oh, my goodness.
And then, she, wanted to ask some advice, so she asked me Nana.
Because, well, Nana's would know.
Yes.
So what did you do, ultimately, then?
Well, I didn't know whether to put cream on or not, because I thought, well, I don't know.
I can see your predicament.
So
as you could see his, I'm sure. Right.
So I asked my mum and she said, well, I can't see any other option, really,
Yeah.
But, we put a bit of cream on and they went down. They went down.
So many other things you could say there, but best to leave it alone and walk away, I think. Let's move on. So we've got 3 clues. You get your 4th clue in about 20 minutes. So get ready to win yourself one of our last Night Owl mugs. We are literally getting to the last kind of handful that we have, literally. So let us dive onto our next qualifier. From Stanley, halfway up a mountain, we've got Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. What you got for us this evening?
Basically, I had an arowana, right, and I was cleaning it out, and it jumped out of the tank, right, and it's floating around on the floor like break dancing on the floor and that.
Wow.
So I had a tea towel, so I covered it over, and basically it bit us, and I was trying to help it, you know what I mean? But it bit us, so we may come in like seeing us like trying to get the thing in the fish tank, and that's what he helped us.
Right.
That was like one thing. Our one bit us. I had a snake head that also bit us. Trying to hand feed that. I was told that you can't hand feed them, but I was persevering with it, and I did eventually get it to hand feed it.
Right.
I got bit off that as well. So, and also, I was determined to do it. I was determined to hand feed it. He said, no, you can't hand feed snake heads. I said, so I had no food for it left, so I got some hot dogs out the cupboard. And I started feeding it hot dogs, and I eventually got it to take a hot dog. Crazy or what?
No, I love this. People told me that you can't feed them, but I kept trying to feed them. It bit me, which is so that kind of hint was there. But no, hey, you go.
No,
a lot of respect for the effort. Well done, you.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. I gather you've had a bit of a ghosty habnab as well. What's the ghost story?
Yeah, well, there's 2 actually.
Right.
When I moved into the bungalow by myself now,
right.
On the partner, my friend gave us like this stool, like it was like a leather type thing, right? and I had it in the bedroom at the bottom of the bed. And I was lying in bed, and I heard, like, when you sit on it, like, it made, like, a squeak.
Right.
So I was lying in bed, and I heard the squeak. And I think to myself, right, that's strange. So I was like, puffy. Like, I looked up, and I could see it, like, there's someone, like, obviously no one there. I see someone, like, standing on it. It was like they're moving up and down, as though, like, someone was bouncing on it. What? And I froze, and I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And I looked away, I looked back, and they're still doing it. And then I said, well, that's not stopping in here. So out in the garden, I went. I was like, no, I'm not stopping in here.
Yeah.
And there was, before that, when I was at my mum's, I was lying there sleeping, and I woke up, and I felt this, like, as though someone was staring at us.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked to the side, and there was this figure, the shape of a monk. I couldn't remember the face now, properly, like, vaguely.
Right.
Like, I had like a big staff as well.
Right.
I remember the staff, and like, it was sat beside us, and I was like, panicked. I couldn't shout. Trying to my best to shout, because I was like wanting to get someone's attention.
Sure.
But I eventually shouted my sister, and she come in, like, she's like had a few incidents as well, and I says, she says, like, what's the matter? And I says, is he still there? And she says, who's still there? And then she looks, and she says, yeah, he is. She's seen him as well.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, so what? I said, what do I do now? And I slowly got up, and I was just like, I'm not fucking there neither. Go and sleep on the settee.
But the great thing was she saw it too, though. That's cool.
I was like, I said, he's still there? And she says, yeah. And when she eventually looked, like, what was on? She said, he's still there.
So she'd had a few experiences of her own as well.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
my God. I know what that's all about.
But I was like...
Interesting. Say, good stuff. Hey, well, thank you very much for all of that. Top call, Rich. Thanks for coming on, mate. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Animals that attack. He's had a hatful. Oh, they said I couldn't do it, but, well, it bit me, of course. Oh, isn't that just like the Northeast? Tell you can't do something, first thing we're going to do. 0191 488 3188. Lots to talk about. Lots of people to talk with it over as well. We're off to Elsick in the west end of Newcastle upon the Tyne, where we find Fiona. Hi, Fiona.
I'm just stuck my face as well.
Oh, what with? What with? Tell me, because I'm hungry.
Oh, I can't do that here.
Okay.
That's not fair. You're sitting there and... Okay, it's a pizza.
It's a pizza. Oh, which one? Which kind?
Well, if I say one, you say, oh, my favourite, blah, blah, go on and on and on. No, I'm a pineapple.
No, it's not my favourite. Pepperoni.
Oh,
anyway, don't worry. Hey, crack on. What else you got for us apart from pepperoni round your chops?
Yeah. The moon. Is it the full moon? Is it half a moon?
At the moment, I can't see it from the studio. Is it a full one? I don't know. What stage are we at?
No, it's just that everybody's been texting on there, you know. Somebody was on about the moon and all that.
Oh, right, okay.
We've had a laugh, I think. It's been good.
Right.
No, it's about neighbours.
Yeah.
Nasty neighbours.
Oh, what's the matter with them? What they been doing to you?
Well, I can't say, like, you know, like names, blah, blah, blah. But
Sure.
anyway, like, you know, the normal crap. I'm getting harassment and all this, you know.
Right.
You do the normal stuff and you ask for help and the police, oh God, my heart. But, you know, they all turned around and they backfire on me anyway because I know them and because I'm an ex-streeter off the streets and I'm trying to get on with my life and I'm getting, like, hassle.
Right.
So what the hell can I do?
Well, what kind of hassle are we talking about? Because you haven't actually told us.
It's harassment.
What's that? What does that mean? Are they?
If I sit on my step, I'm getting on video recordings and everything, you know, like proof. But the police didn't want to know.
Right.
They didn't want to look at it.
Yeah, it's classed like as a civil matter, and civil matters are the things that cost a fortune to chase up if you're going to, you know, like go to court over them.
Just a bit of advice, you know. What do I do?
What started it?
moving.
Is there something that kicked this off, or what?
Aye. Well, I can't really see on you, but it's to do with Coca-Cola, if you know what I mean. I'm trying. Aye. Anyway, that
right.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Got really bad. I was in my backyard and it all kicked off.
Right.
It just got worse from there. They wanted to jacuzzi in my backyard and I went no.
Right.
You know, like, they wanted to take over, you know, like trying to like tell us what to do and all this, you know.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
So I'm like stuck, you know, and I just got my head back at him.
But you said you're moving.
I thought it was going to be me home, you know, 'cause I've moved I've moved that many. Well, I've moved around a lot, and I was off the streets, and you know, a lot of things have happened.
Yeah,
and
but
I thought it was going to be me home, you know.
But you're going to have to move again just to get a little bit of peace.
That's all I want, peace.
Yeah. Hey, well, I hope you get it. Thanks for coming on, Fiona. There you go. We're never going to find out what it really was, but it was the real thing, apparently. 01914 883188. We have Matthew coming up next. Where is he? Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Alan. You all right?
Yes,
How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I've been playing Battlefield 42 beta the day.
Oh,
this week.
Any good?
It's pretty good. I got a kill on it the other day. I did.
Ooh.
I got a kill on it the other day. I did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm saying, Alan, it was pretty good. I played it for 4 days. It comes out next month. I'm saying, Alan, what's your favourite James Bond film with Daniel Craig in it, by the way? You know what I mean?
I like all of them. I really have enjoyed all of them. And the one that he says was the worst, because he doesn't rate Quantum of Solace. And I actually really, really like Quantum of Solace, but everything that he's done has been great. I haven't seen the new one yet, but I want to badly. So I'll be hopefully looking at that over the next week or so if I get a chance.
What I like about Daniel Craig, Alan, you know when he opens the door, he makes us laugh. He makes us laugh.
What is it about how he opens the door?
You know when he goes in, you know, in Quantum of Solace, when he goes in the room and that, he's sitting on his phone and that, and the woman's saying, I kind of tell his holiday plans. It's funny.
Yeah, well, no, that is funny. That's good.
Yeah.
So have you seen the new one yet?
Not yet. I've been watching the old ones. I watched the old ones on Wednesday. I went out on Wednesday with Ian. We went down for the course and we chatted about James Bond and that and played a bit of music and that. I'm saying, what's different to the new one? To the old one, Alan, the new James Bond? Is it Daniel Craig's last one forever? Is he going to come back? I do not know.
No, it's the last one that he's doing, and then it'll be somebody else, and they haven't decided who that's going to be yet.
Yep. I never watched the Roger Connery ones because I'm not really a big fan of Roger McConnery. You know what I mean?
Roger McConnery. I've never liked Roger McConnery. I mean, not from the very beginning.
I only like Daniel Craig because he gets all the women. You know what I mean? I'm saying, Alan, did you hear about that policeman who murdered that woman? That was shocking. That
horrible story. And
you know,
we're just hearing that there's more police officers across the last 5 years. Apparently, that they've kept a lid on without telling everybody.
Yeah. Well, I don't get, Alan. Well, I don't get why. I don't know if there's something wrong with his brain or something. I don't know why he wanted to kill an innocent woman. It's not nice. I think these creatures who, I know the police aren't all bad, but Boris Johnson wants to try and get used to the police again. But you know, if somebody's outside and you don't know them very well, you kind of, you know what I mean. I'm saying, Alan, I enjoyed your ghost hunt last week. It was good. I would listen to it all the time. I listened to the whole SoundCloud things as well from the whole Metro Radio things. I kind of believe they're still on there.
Right.
But three more things. I'm saying, Alan, do you think we're going to get snow this week?
I hope not. I mean, I've heard various whispers about it, but I hope not.
I'll do my shout-outs and two more things.
Okay.
So it's Mary and Jimmy, shout-out to Neil, Helen next door, Stephanie and Stewie, and anybody else who knows me and Jimmy. I'm saying, Alan, my other points, I've been watching Coronation Street last week. It's been interesting. They're going to do a storyline where they're going to go underneath the sewers and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
It is, yeah. Going through the motions.
I'm saying, Alan, did you look up that Battlefield game, or did you not have time?
No, I had a look at it. Looks really good. Looks like it's going to be worth a play, definitely.
I'm saying, Alan, maybe 2 points as well while I'm here. I'm saying, you know, if somebody, you know, if a policeman kills somebody and they don't know where they are, should they be in prison forever for what they did? I know a lot of people, Boris Johnson wants to get on with the police again, but how can he get on with the police when you know that woman's being killed? Do you kind of trust him, can you? The police these days,
Well, just because there's a few bad apples, you got to remember, whenever there's a large number of people, it doesn't matter what job they're in, most of them are going to be great, but there's going to be a few that aren't, and they've got to be weeded out. That's all it is.
I know what he did, what was wrong, but, you know, I think he should die in bars. That's just my opinion. I'm saying, Alan, about outsiders. should some outsiders be allowed to come to our country if they're not being vaccinated? I don't think they should be allowed. I think they should be not allowed to come to our country, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. If anybody who wants to work here, and a lot of people have stopped working here because of Brexit, obviously, but if they want to come and work here, there should be a mechanism to allow them to do it.
Why don't garland about people not getting the vaccine and that?
Mm-hmm.
Should they not be forced to get the vaccine if they want to go to Poundland or McDonald's or Burger King or go to wherever? Should they not be forced to get that if they're being told they have to do that, by the way?
Well, I mean, they're advised to do it, but we live in a free country, so people have a choice to say yes or to say no, and some of them for medical reasons have had to say no.
I understand that we've got to do what we're taught and that, but, you know, there's some people out, like Stu, he won't get the vaccine. He won't get it. He says he's scared of it. I said, well, my granddad had the vaccine. He was all right, you know what I mean?
No, it's not for everybody. Okay.
I'm saying, Alan, I've been playing the Mafia Free game this week. It's been really good, the Mafia Free game and that.
Yeah.
Where you be a gangster and that, do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Good.
Yeah, I've watched the Godfather movies. They were good. Did you ever watch the Godfather movies, Alan?
Yes, they're good films. Got to move on, though. Thank you, Matthew.
Good night, Alan. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Look forward to it. Bye-bye. 01914 888 3188. Chris the Truck's been on. He says, I think the takeover is great news for the club and the city. But in terms of managers, I think King Kev would be better in some sort of ambassadorial role. I love him, but I think he's been out of management for too long to do a good job back at St James's. Love to see Rafa back with a budget behind him, but he's at Everton now and doing a good job for them. I'd like to see what Graham Jones can do. Hopefully he could create an entertainers-type squad of players. But the first priority should be a top-quality, reliable 20 goals a season striker. You think? 0191 488 3188, a one that's not regularly injured. That seems to be the way. So, let us crack on. Time for your fourth clue. Oh, yeah. Fourth clue coming your way. Clue number 1. What hounds usually see on a hunt? Second clue, a spiky horror movie classic. A spiky horror movie classic. Third clue, Will Smith as a child, perhaps. Will Smith as a child, perhaps. And the fourth clue that I think will give it away, the name of a smash hit movie or a chain of old video shops. Okay? The name of a smash hit movie or a chain of old video shops. 4 clues. 4 greatest hits. Who had a hit with those 4? If you know, ring Chris right now. 0191 488 3188. The guys next door have got it, so all of you must have it. I mean, that's just how it works. 0191 488 3188. Pick up your telephone, give us a call. We have Crystal from Newcastle. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. What can we do for you?
I wanted to call and have a chat with you, so I wanted to get your opinion on something, because anyone else that I've explained this to thinks I'm going mad.
Right.
But I don't know, what's your opinion on when people talk about like the glitch in the Matrix and things like that?
Right. I understand what they mean by it. What do you view that as, then?
Well, I think, like as of lately, it's coming into fruition. Like, I've started to believe in it. In the past, when I was younger, I used to think it was just all, like, make-believe and a story that people used to talk about. But I've actually had things happen to me that has made me believe in it.
Give me an example, then.
So yesterday, I took a photo on Snapchat where they've got a new filter on, and it's a Halloween filter.
Right.
And I took a photo. I was lying in bed, and it was around about just after 3 o'clock. Maybe it's like 3:15. And I took a photo of myself on this new filter, and I see my glasses beside us in my bed. Now, I don't normally take my glasses upstairs because they've got their own space downstairs in a drawer somewhere, so I can keep them safe and they don't get broken or anything.
Right.
But then I was looking for them, and I thought, hang on a second, I've not got my glasses up here. And I'm looking for them, and I can't find them. And I went to look in the bathroom and then looked elsewhere, and then I came downstairs, and they were actually sitting on my sofa, and I thought, how is that possible? And I've saved the photo, and I've got a video of it as well, of all of that happening. But there's little things like that have happened a few times, and then when I try and explain it to anyone that are like not familiar with like the glitch in the matrix and things like that.
Right, now the thing about your glasses, let's look at that first. Could it be, just possibly, that you took the picture with your new Halloween filter on? What do you end up doing? Looking like a witch, or how's it work?
It was like a little skull in the corner of the screen.
Oh, there's that. All right, okay. So you got a little skull in the corner of the screen. You see your glasses. Could it have been possible that after that, inadvertently, without even thinking, you'd picked them up, walked downstairs, sat down on the couch, and put your glasses down there? Is that not possible?
No, because before I had went to bed, I took my glasses off. I can't recall where I had put them down. Then I went up to bed, and then that's what confused me, because I never take them up to bed with us or anywhere like that.
I see.
Because I don't want to get them like misplaced, lost, or broken, or anything like that. Because it happened in the past. So when I took the picture, as soon as after I had took it, I had looked like around us to see like where they were, because I couldn't find them.
Right.
But I could see them in the photo, and I thought, hang on, I'll check downstairs. I came downstairs and they were on the arm of the sofa.
Right. So there's no way that those two things can be reconciled.
Yeah.
Just you should always look, obviously, for that. I know exactly what you mean. And a friend of mine proved the Matrix thing. At least to him, he proved it. And he said that about 3 days earlier, he was feeling poorly. He rang in work. He said he couldn't get there. He was really ill. And being sick and diarrhea and, all the stuff that we don't like to talk about, he was all of that. And he rang in and he didn't go downstairs. Didn't go downstairs at all. Stayed in bed. He lives on his own. I want to get well. I'm just going to stay up here and drink water till I feel better. He stayed up there, watched a bit of telly, went to the loo, but didn't even go downstairs, didn't even eat. He had a chocolate bar that he had in his drawer, and he drank water. He couldn't face anything else. That was what he had. And typical bloke, I can't be bothered, I'm not going down. Oh, I feel poorly, me. And 2 days later, his mate said, did you get the parcel? Rang him, because he stayed off for about 3 or 4 days. And he rang him and said, have you got the parcel that I sent you? And he says, no, definitely not. And he said, 2 days ago, I rang the company, they say they delivered it. Right? So he goes downstairs, has a mooch about, and on a shelf in one of his cupboards is the parcel.
No way.
Now, he hadn't been downstairs, he hadn't answered the door, he hadn't signed for anything, but the parcel was, so how? And he, even to the degree of, he's got a CCTV system for his front door. He went through his CCTV, fast forward, but still, he went through it, and he said he wasn't downstairs, nobody came to the door, how have I got the parcel in there? And I can't explain it. Now, it may well be in his doped up state, or whatever, in his fever, that somebody's rang it, and maybe, I don't know, but he swears he didn't go downstairs.
That could be a possibility. Because when you're ill and then you've got to take medication, you've got like so many things going on, and your mind's just doing overtime as well as you're being poorly. You can forget these things, but like you say, if you check the CCTV and nothing come up, that just then again proves his statement when he says that he never answered the door to anybody. So how can you explain those type of situations? But there's been another time where it's not necessarily been a glitch in the matrix, but there's been times where, like, I know you've probably heard of the saying like foreshadowing and stuff like that. But
yes.
I took a video one where I said, for some reason, the word, I know it sounds strange, but the word donut came to my mind. And I says, tomorrow someone's going to have a conversation, whether it's intentionally or just out of the blue, someone's going to mention something about donuts. Right. And then my mum and my brother had come with my sister-in-law and my brother the next day. But I didn't know my sister-in-law and my brother were coming because I don't see them very often.
Right.
But they came and they were sitting down and they were having a conversation, and then my other niece came along because she had just finished school. And my sister-in-law was telling my niece how they had went to, I think it was South Shields, like the fair.
Right.
Got like a sale of like a
Yeah.
got rides and stuff down there.
Uh-huh.
And she was saying, oh, you should have came with, because my niece didn't go with them, but she was saying, oh, you should have came with, we had donuts and things. And I was like, hang on a second.
Right.
This was very strange. So I showed everyone in the room, because it was me, my mum, my brother, niece, and my nephew. And they were saying, that's just weird. It's nothing, you know, you're being really weird, you're being really strange. But these things, like, it's one thing after another. It never normally happens like after another. It's normally like there's a while until each thing happens.
Right.
But it's just, I keep seeing like double numbers as well. So like I'll see 1-1-1-1. Or a lot of the time I see 5-5-5 quite a lot.
Right.
And like, because that's been happening only since I've moved into my own house. So I'm just thinking, have I moved into some kind of portal? And then these things have happened. They started happening.
Right. Well, I mean, you seem to be happening to you a lot. Or maybe it's just because you're looking for them now. Maybe they happen to a lot of people, but we're not aware of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a
possible.
possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've not had anyone else that's told us it's happening to them.
Well, let's see if we can find out. Night owls, is anybody out there that feels that they've lost time, they've lost stuff? You know, they've lost periods in their day and strange things have happened like this? Give us a call. We will find out. Hey, lovely talking to you, Crystal. Thank you for sharing.
Well, Alan, take care.
Take care, love. Bye-bye. Going to have a track now because the stars are coming out at night, and Tony Hadley, Spandau Ballet, talking about, well, early days. Whereabouts were you born and raised?
Born Angel Islington. I was born in the Royal Free Hospital, Liverpool Road. And so my mum, in fact, still lives in the same house that I was taken to when I was a baby. So she's been there. My mum's now 86.
Wow.
Doing fabulously well, yeah.
Growing up, were you a good kid, bad kid? What kind of kid were you?
I was a pretty okay kid. I mean, you got to remember what Islington was like in the 60s and 70s. I mean, we still had, opposite my mum and dad's house was a bomb site from the Second World War. So, I mean, I sound like I'm ancient, but I mean, there were still bomb sites around London when I was a kid. We used to play in ruins and stuff like that. And also Islington was there were a lot of gangs around there. It's now become this gentrified, beautiful place that it is, but there were a lot of heavy characters and stuff. And, I think there was a point where we get in a little bit of skullduggery, nothing too serious, but there was a point where I thought, I'm going to have to get out of this because I don't want to disappoint my parents. They really want me to go to grammar school and everything, but a few of the people I know that I hung around with, ended up going to prison and stuff like that. So
but this is the weird thing about the whole Tony Hadley experience, because it's like I'm surrounded by these really tough characters. What you need now is a lot of makeup and a kilt, and that'll make it all better.
Yes, that's where ballet slippers and dye our hair. Yeah.
Now, camped here was Beth Lale. She was the matriarch of the family, the grandmother, the boss, along with the patriarch, whose name was John Lale, and Beth Lale. They were the two people running the whole Lale family, which was about 1,000 men. It's a large, large group. Now, Beth came here with her 4 daughters and their children, the grandchildren. There was about 8 of them. And the idea was, we'll camp near the Peel Tower, because they had an agreement with the Cresswells who lived here that they would be able to camp here without any kind of problem. One presumes sliding them a few cattle for their trouble. But this was before the cattle arrived. Most of the menfolk weren't here. And the Herons got here before they did. And they killed the matriarch of the family. They killed Beth. They killed the 4 daughters. They killed all of the grandchildren, including little babies. So when the rest of the Lales got here, just as that was ending, they heard the kerfuffle. They poured in here with the cattle, and they killed all of the Herons except one. Jed Heron escaped. He was the patriarch of the heron family, their worst enemies. So John Lale declared in the town square at Alnwick, anyone hiding heron, their entire family lane, as many of them as there are, would be forfeit. They would kill every single member of any family hiding them. Well, there's a small village not that far away from here called Brockenfield, and some of Heron's relatives lived there. But they heard what John Lale had said, and they knew how violent John Lale could be. And they got hold of their own relative and they handed him across to John Lale, who brought him back here to this land where the women and children were murdered and decapitated him. Right here. Share all of this, please. This, oh, this is spooky out here, mind. Look at these trees. I always wonder what stories they could tell. And especially when you look back and see the castle. It's a basel, actually. A defendable tower so that you could see any trouble coming your way and defend against it. Amazing. Just an amazing thing. It is spooky out in the darkness, man, isn't it? And it's out here that there's said to be all kinds of different things. Can you hear voices?
I heard something there.
Definitely a voice.
Definitely.
Oh, bugs as well. I'm getting voices. Voices, voices, voices. It's much edgier out here, mine, Tony.
Definitely. It's very quiet inside. It's very warm as well out here. It's weird.
It is to be this near the coast.
I know.
There's supposed to be a path off to the right-hand side that we should go down.
Is that way? Yeah, there's only one path here.
See again?
I can only see one path at the minute.
There's supposed to be another one that goes off to the right.
You've got another battery in the bag. 20 minutes, that's it.
You got another battery?
Are we changing this one?
I'll do. No, it's underneath. I'll do you want to do it?
I've got the bag.
Yeah, you need the battery out of the bag.
Okay, I'll get the battery in the bag first.
And in the meantime, we'll just see what we shall see. Got to be stuff out here.
If you're a supporter, you'll get all the night vision footage as well that Kenny's filming now.
Be amazing to see what that thing was that did actually grab the camera or whatever it was.
Are you shine on this? Or?
It's underneath. Is it? You just take that off. Do
you hear a noise there?
In the trees earlier, there was like a whispering I
heard voices.
Right, I heard voices after that. I heard like whispering as well. really weird because the twig moved before I even got anywhere near it. I'll take the torch.
Okay, man. Good luck. You can understand why people would feel it's safe to come. You know, you're not very far from the huge Peel Tower, but you could get yourself in these woods and just secrete yourself.
So wide,
Yeah.
it's out really wide and the road high between.
And all of the tree line and what's what? What's that? The hell was that? I'm getting blackness over there, Kenny. Take your torch out for a second. Do you see it?
That's where I got one before.
Just a really dark. Can you see it? It'll just dark. You need to be over this way a bit, Tony. Can you see it? In your there, just to the right. You getting anything? Not really.
No.
Damn. Gotta be careful with these as well. We've got some serious nettles going on here. Yeah, the parasites on the tree, you've seen it. Ivy's eating it away. What's that?
Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And a big hello to David Johnson, who's with us, Easter, and also Anne Cumpson, who still thinks wasps are the very, very worst of the worst. Well, let's get into some more calls. Mark from Gateshead. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate. I gather you've got an update on the hogs, on the hedgehogs.
Yeah, I've got two more.
Right. Oh, what's happened?
Well, they just
appeared. Rescues.
There was nothing for a couple of weeks, and now two more have turned up.
Right. That's great.
So I put fresh bowls out of water. I've put some posts on local pages asking for help with food and bowls and stuff.
Right.
On the ghost side of stuff, I know you're into the ghosts and stuff.
Mm.
I had a bit of a weird experience. I went to bed with my headphones on.
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't want to upset the neighbours because I'm up late for the shift.
Sure.
And a woman's voice come into my headphones and started talking to me. And obviously the headphones, I've got no microphone. And I was like, just what the hell's going on?
Yeah. What did she say then?
Huh?
What did she say?
She said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in bed."
Right.
And she said, "Well, I'm in bed," and I was completely. I couldn't reply.
Right.
Because you know.
Because you didn't have a microphone, right?
Yeah, I just had my headphones on. I was listening to ELO or something, and
Right, strange magic.
This woman's voice just come in.
Right.
So anyway, back to the.
Did she sound like she was an evil woman?
Nice, good one.
Sorry.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
I've got 3 exes, so.
So there's plenty of room there.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I've been collecting cat trees, and I fix cat trees as well.
Right.
For, a cat charity, New Beginnings.
Right.
Which is a local charity up here in the northeast.
No, that's good. Good on you.
And the hedgehogs, I support their charities as well.
No, we see that. What I'm going to do, Mark, thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to dart from you just to try and get another caller on. Hang on in there. Thank you. So there's Mark. Alison, Anfield Plain. Hello, Alison.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm very, very well, but we haven't got much time. Dive in. What's your story?
Well, what I thought I'd
ring up and tell you, I've been listening to everybody's kind of critter stories
Yeah.
and what they're frightened of and things. And I don't know if you can remember when I came on and told you about our rat problem.
Yes. Oh, that was a while back now. Yes.
Yeah, well, it took ages to sort out.
Right.
But I sussed it. So I thought I'd come on and share what we kind of did to fix it.
Great,
And
go
the
for it.
thing get it out, Alison. How we got rid of them was peppermint oil.
Right. What did you do with that then?
Just literally dab peppermint oil all the way around the garden, on bits of wood, on anything that was kind of lying around, and we haven't seen a single rat since.
That's bizarre. Who would have thought?
Yeah, somebody just told me that it was a good idea, so I just did it, and it's worked.
I would have thought, though, the first time it rained, you're back to square one again then.
I put it like underneath things, on stones, on wood, so it just soaked into the wood. So
Right.
like my shed smells beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would have thought planting mint wouldn't be a bad idea either, I suppose. So, but it's minty things that rats don't like. then.
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
Yep, and it's got to be pure peppermint, so it's like the type that you get for aromatherapy oils.
Gotcha. Right. Hey,
I just thought that
Who-
anybody who's got a problem.
who would have thought? You know, out of all the things. And I'm thinking, how did you scare them away by dabbing peppermint behind each ear of the rat? But
No,
no.
didn't quite have to go to that extent. I would have done if I'd had to.
No, but it worked. That's the main thing. We are out, but thank you very much, Alison.
Okay,
Perfect.
speak to you soon.
Working to time that girl. Thank you very much, Alison in Anfield playing peppermint. Really? Cold blimey, love a duck. No, that's not that track. My goodness. I've got the track worked out, and it's actually, I like Supertramp, I have to say, but it's supposed to be this.